break for a flavour.
Can I have?
Want to come further down because otherwise we're going to have loads of space here. People's going to think that there isn't a lot of people in. So this is just the first two rows. Crowd spread out.
So, Sasha, I'll call you in first. Shake hands a bit and stand up far. So I'll call you in. Just walk straight here. Shake hands with me and go around and shake hands with the right.
Can you just come further down, guys, for us, please?
Hello and welcome to Blackpool for the final of the World Masters. Please welcome our referee for tonight, Sasha Gauci. And up first, player who needs no introduction, multiple world team champion and long-time England captain, Lee Kendall. And his opponent, making his first appearance in this great arena, Josh Kane. Good evening and welcome to Blackpool for the final of the World Masters. Commentary from Mark Shepherd, Mike King and Gav Lomax. Evening chaps, looks like being a good final. Two of your England teammates, so familiar with both of them?
Yeah, it'd be brilliant this final, Will.
Yeah, well, you've got the England men's captain and the England under-23s captain, haven't you? So it's certainly a clash of styles, but it should be a good game.
Yeah, it's nice to see Lee. He's won so much out in this arena, but nice to see him making another singles final. He was in the World Championship final, of course, 5 years ago, and then a number of years before that in the late 90s. So a controlled break from Lee. Seen that a fair bit.
He's very consistent with his break. He doesn't change his style, does he? No matter what table he moves to, whether it's here or a tour event or a club event, he always breaks the same, doesn't he? Works well for him.
You guys have seen firsthand it's a very high standard in the Masters. A lot of good players. I mean, Lee's come through a hell of a lot of good players to get to this point.
Yeah, I mean, if he was to win this with the players he's beat, he's pretty much taken out name after name every round. I think he had, was it the former world finalist Nigel Clark he had in his opening round? He's kicked on from there, really.
Yeah, he beat Pat McCarron of Scotland in the last 32, Harjeet Singh in the last 16, and Ben Flack, another of your teammates in the quarters, and then Carl Boys in the semi-final. Nice to see Carl back in Blackpool playing 8-ball again. He's been off playing a lot of American pool the last few years.
He's brought a very good crowd with him as well. I think every game he's had has sort of had 40, 50 people around watching. It's been good.
Yeah, he's the local boy, of course.
What about yourself, Mark? Have you been here long watching much of the pool? Or?
No, I arrived here today, so I've been watching a bit of the playoffs and some of the ladies' semis earlier on, but following the results online earlier in the week, I mean, it's, as you say, just big name after big name. No easy routes to these finals.
Obviously, it was an upset with sort of see Gav Lomax go out in the quarterfinals, wasn't it? Because you know, we expected big things from him, but
30 seconds.
And of course, joining us later will be Dave Fernandez, who's made the semi-finals. Be playing his semi tomorrow against Phil Harrison.
for my money, Dave's favourite at the moment. He's not missing a ball, is he? He hadn't missed a ball since 1984, so he's in good nick.
Well, no arguments from Dave. He's going with that analysis. Meanwhile, Lee getting off to the customary steady start.
Yeah, in these big games, that's what you want, isn't it? A nice early starter, settle you in. I think both these players have a lot of respect for each other as well. They both know what they're capable of. They know they need to play really well to win the game.
Yeah, you know you're never going to get past Lee unless you play well.
No.
Very consistent standard the whole time.
I think for me, though, Josh Kane's had a phenomenal 12 months, sort of. I mean, I think he's always been a great talent, but when he won the Nations Cup in September in Scotland, he's kicked on from there, and now he's obviously doing things in big men events such as this. He's got a great future.
Yeah, I mean, he's young, but he's been around a long time already. He's been knocking on the door of these big tournaments. First frame on the board, though, for the England captain.
That's a good finish.
Oh, you're still here, Gavin?
Yeah, just about.
Thought we were just doing it between the two of us. I didn't know you had a headset, but that's nice that you're still here.
So bonus coverage of this match tonight. Our main streamed coverage of the semi-finals of the individual and team event starts at midday tomorrow. We just about managed to get the arena up in time tonight, so not too many people knew about this, so not everybody has arrived yet, but we'll have bigger crowds, no doubt, for tomorrow's matches.
The arena looks fantastic, though, doesn't it, Mark?
Absolutely, a lot of work's gone into this. It's amazing. If you see this room a day or two ago, had 20 tables in and all the early round matches going on, and then all been removed and replaced with this one table.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Looking forward to the team semi-finals. Myself, from a personal point of view, obviously, we've had a good run this week, and we're hoping to, from the position we've put ourselves in, certainly win the world title. That we want nothing less than that.
Yeah, but that's almost the tough thing for England. You guys are the favourites every year, but you're sort of there for the taking when other people turn up.
Obviously, not winning it last year was a bitter pill to swallow, really, because we felt we should have gone on to win that, and we didn't. So this year, we definitely will want to make amends for that.
So pretty much the same team as usual, both of you, of course?
Yeah, very strong team this year. We've got Shane Thompson has come in for Chris Day, and who is the other one that's come in for Michael Hope? That wasn't here last year. Can't think.
Chris McDermott.
Obviously, we have got the real England #1 at home resting up. He hasn't played a lot this year, Chris McDermott, since he won the singles Euros C-Team Player of the Year or whatever it was. I'm not sure, but he could have been here, but obviously I think he's at home not well. So who's coming to replace him?
I mean, it's an amazing team. It's just a production line of good people.
I wouldn't say good people, pal.
Present company accepted.
It's got good players, definitely not good people. No, Mark, can you get us a beer, George?
Drinks orders just being taken in the commentary box before
Yes, nice when
second
George
frame
Arbwood
gets underway.
It's nice when George Arbwood's your beer runner, isn't it? You know you're having the high life then.
Obviously done something right.
What about yourself, Mark? Do you play a lot of pool or mainly commentating? Is that your main area of expertise?
Well, I think my last good scout was beating you.
Was it?
Yes.
I remember
yeah.
that. Absolutely destroyed me.
That's when you went home from the tour early, weren't it?
That was when I quit the game for 6 months.
No, I can understand that. I'd probably have done the same if I'd have lost to me.
No, you battered me though, didn't you, to be fair?
Yeah, I mean, so the non-alcoholic stuff to go with it.
Oh, he's a funny man, George. Very funny man.
Yeah, no, I still play in the tour events. But
Hopefully I can live that long as well, really, if I can get to his age.
It's been another good clearance, isn't it, from Lee?
Yeah, he's looking sharp, isn't he, at the moment?
Well, that's the thing. Josh has got a massive break, but if he comes dry, he's leaving game every time, isn't it?
Well, Kenny's break is very calculated and clever, isn't
Yeah.
it? He knows that he makes one ball most breaks, but when he doesn't, it's a very cagey frame, and he's very comfortable with that, isn't he? Josh obviously wants a lot of open attacking pull.
Yeah. And that's how he got one over on Dave yesterday with his breaks.
Yeah. Well, at some stage, Dave was due to lose to someone. You can't just win every event while you're here, can you? I mean,
Been here 9 days without losing a match.
At some stage, you've got to surely lose, and it's only a game of pool at the end of the day. But as I said last night on commentary, Dave did mention to me in the week he did need to win sort of either the World Singles or Masters just to cover his bar bill for the week. So he's still in good shape if he can win the singles.
That's just as well as got George buying the drinks tonight, then.
He certainly would be the most popular world champion that I know of since I've been in Q Sport, as far as I'm concerned. Be a great scout for the game, wouldn't it, if Dave could win the world title?
Yeah. Yeah, because we'll have a free night on the banquet night.
Oh, you always have a free night, buddy, because you never go to the bar.
It says you, I've just got them.
Ooh.
Oh,
I mean, you'd expect him to get this, but this is very missable as well at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got to cue this nice.
Yeah, playing this off the cushion, this is not the comfortable shot that he thought he was leaving himself there.
Obviously, he wants to keep Josh cold as long as he can. I mean, I know that's stating the obvious, but in this game, it can soon turn.
Yeah, and I think particularly in this arena, because Josh has just got a lot less experience of playing out in front of, it's not a huge crowd yet tonight, but in front of more people than he'll be used to.
Yeah, it's a good shot. So 2-0 and 2 dishes.
Kenny cut break coming.
Yeah, he won't change his plan. He's a very, very clever player, isn't he? The cleverest player I've played with. Balls the tears out of me when he has one of his 50-minute hour job frames, but it's clever to watch, and you've got to have utmost respect for it when he does it.
Yeah, but it did start going to the break queue as well, didn't it? It was hitting them full on.
Yeah.
No, it seemed all day he's been doing the cut break.
Yeah, it's just the consistency of standard. You know he's not really going to have a bad day. You're going to have to turn up if you want to beat him.
Yeah, definitely.
He very rarely gets rolled over by anyone, does he?
I think both of these guys would be popular winners. I mean, they're both well liked, but I mean, Ken has just been around for so long and won so many team things. It'd be nice for him to add. I mean, he's won a lot of single things as well, but nice to add a big one to that collection.
Yeah, I think it's more of a matter of when rather than if, as to when Josh wins a big event like this or the World Championships. His day will come because he's a great talent. I think you got him and Aaron Davies are the two best youngsters at the moment.
And Callum.
And Callum as well,
Callum's
right up there now as
Callum's
well.
brilliant.
Obviously, nearly won the Euros, didn't he, himself? So you've got those three. Those three will all be in the England team for years to come, I think, in the next few years. Obviously, Gav will probably have to make way for one of them because I can't imagine he'll keep clinging on to his spot. But that will depend on sort of the retain system, you know.
Look, you've had one warning today, Mike.
If he keeps buying meals he drinks, he might stay in the team a little bit longer.
So first look at Josh Kane. Important to try and make an impression early on.
Yeah, he's got to take these now.
We often say this arena becomes kind of a lonely place if you go a few frames behind.
Yeah, you just start looking for complications, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Josh play a few times, and he's definitely at his best when he's a bit more measured and slow. Sometimes he can play a bit quick, can't he, and he sort of rushes. But when he's very measured and slow, he's, well, a great player.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does, because there's a temptation, knowing his opponent is very measured, to think, oh, well, I'll go out and blast him off the table.
Yeah.
Kane's just text. Gav sounds like he's on helium.
Yeah, for those of you wondering back home, the third voice you hear sort of every 5-6 minutes or so is Gav Lomax. He doesn't speak a lot, but...
We're paying him by the word, so we can't afford for him to say too much.
Ooh.
Oh. Even though at such early stages, you obviously want to get off to a good start, because in this game you're always chasing the game. And you don't want a player like Lee to have a 3-4 frame lead, do you?
That was a massive chance.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to be giving Lee confidence, because now Lee's thinking, well, I could afford to miss a couple and I'll still get back in.
Well, to be honest, Lee doesn't miss a couple, does he? He's got one of the best cue balls I've seen in the game. It's always pinpoint. He's very clever tactically, so Josh will struggle to win if he ends up 3-4 frames behind, because you just don't get chance after chance, do you, against Lee?
There was an interesting debate before this as to what table we should play this final on, because we normally use the larger 8-foot table for the kind of big live streamed matches in this arena towards the end of the tournament, and that's what we're using for the World Championships tomorrow. But it was agreed that we've used this table the whole way through the Masters, so we'd use this for the final.
I do believe this is the last year they're using the big table, from what I've been told.
Yeah, there was talk, in fact, of getting rid of it for this year. I had understood this is what was going to happen, but that wasn't ultimately ratified, because the countries had agreed already that this one would be used, and everybody had prepared on that basis.
Well, I do think if the whole event is played on a 6-foot table, then it should finish on that, shouldn't it? I mean, I understand they used to do it for TV purposes, wasn't it, for Sky Sports? But obviously, now that we're just streamed by Beard Productions, it's makes more sense just to play on the same table the whole event, same format as well, race to 11s rather than it's race to 8, isn't it, in the semis and final of the team.
Yeah, we've long had that problem with the team ones. It takes quite a long time. Now we're having the two semis tomorrow and then the final. It just takes a long time if you play best of
21.
Yeah, best of
table,
21 on one table. But I mean, I think the tough thing for you guys, we always used to say, particularly the years where bits of this have been on Sky, it's a lot of pressure when you only get to play one frame. You know that's going to be your one chance of the year to be on TV.
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously Gav doesn't really worry about that, because he'll probably be dropped, won't he? Can't imagine they'll pick him for the semis, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's a good audition for him, given that he's commentating on his captain's performance here, if he says enough nice thing. I mean, joking aside, it is actually a difficult decision if you're the captain or the manager for England. Who do you drop?
Especially this year. I think the 10 that's happened this year is a one-off team, really. It doesn't happen like that, where you could make a case for all 10 playing and everybody's got a case to play. It's such a strong team. This would be the year that we would be most disappointed not to win it with the side we got now.
So there's going to be a lot of refreshments required during your match tomorrow, judging by the amount that's arrived already.
I think already in this match, this is a massive, massive frame, because for Josh to probably get his first chance, get his hand on the table and not take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's when it really hurts. Like your opponent dishing up, there's not too much you can do about it, and he's kind of expecting that. But if you self-imposed
This is probably the first missable pot. Lee's left himself in almost 3 frames, isn't it?
Ooh,
yeah, as you say.
It's the first missable pot he left himself, I think.
Well, he was just trying to force us that little bit of angle to get that side of the black. And he's missed it by far enough that he's not completely covered the pocket either.
No.
Yellow goes past.
Well, he shouldn't win the frame here, should he? Barring a fluke.
No.
There's no real out here, is there?
No, you shouldn't get any chance now.
Even someone with my limited tactical knowledge would expect to possibly win the frame from here as yellows.
And that's pretty low.
Yeah, it is pretty much the pits, my tactical game. But
we've seen it earlier.
I got fudged by Shepherd on the tour, so that says it all, doesn't it?
That's how bad it gets.
What was the score? 4-0?
4-1. Is it 4-1? 4-1, yeah.
I'll let you have one.
I won one. He let me have one.
You look like you're having a bad weekend already.
Well, it's just got worse. He hasn't left the Watford gap, has he, surely? No. What do you do here, Gav?
No, yeah.
You
No,
don't
Lee's
know?
no, Lee's looking at going off the side cushion there, but I think.
I don't think you can chip that in from the
no,
side row, can you?
The only thing I'd do is probably push one of the yellows and try and get the bag properly and make
Yeah.
him just ask the question. Say,
Yeah.
right, you go for it then.
I
All
think
that.
that's the shot, is to play yellow onto
But
red. Just take the
The
bag
red
with the
can't.
red.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got to get the bag.
I think he's more likely to miss the red altogether here by trying this. 'Cause he's
Yeah,
gonna be
I don't
erring
agree
on
with this because I just think if he hits it wrong, he opens the
The
bag
game,
right up. Like that. See?
Yeah. I think even you'd get these, Gav.
Don't know. Probably 8 shots, I reckon.
Yeah, there didn't seem any obvious value in that because coming off the side cushion, it was never going in. He was going to, as you say, push
Yeah.
the red away from the pocket.
Josh would be delighted, really, because he would have thought he'd lost his frame. 3-0 down, tough order. Obviously, he can settle into his work now. As long as he holds his knickers together, he should take these out. And 2-1 is game on.
This is what you sometimes need, just an easy chance to get going with.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, no
Oh,
way.
no.
What is that?
He's had a pop out, I think.
Oh, did that pop out, or did it? I mean, it looked like he didn't quite catch the middle of the pocket.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like it rolled around both
Nope.
jaws.
I don't think this is a... Well, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't expect this to go wrong, but it's not a straightforward position shot. He's going to want to cannon into a yellow, isn't he, to stay on the black. And things can go wrong when you cannonballs, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go into the first one and end up behind the second one.
Oh,
That was always the danger, wasn't it?
yeah.
But I guess
See, I'd have been totally committed. I'd have played that a lot
a full
harder.
cannon, really
lot
hit it
harder,
harder
just
and
make
tried
sure
to...
you,
yeah,
you should have a shot at the black anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, not having a shot at this is a bit poor by Lee standards. This is the
I
kind of thing he
would
doesn't
already
normally
say
do.
this is it's early stages, but this is a very important frame in this match, isn't it? Because both players having gilt-edged chances to win. Whoever loses his frame is going to feel very disappointed. Wow.
Well, how often do you see that? A one cushion escape from no range at all. It's gone right round it.
He'd be very upset with that. Gifted Josh the frame on a plate now, hasn't he?
I mean, this is going to be a let-off and a half. If Josh Kane wins this frame after some of the things that have happened.
I wouldn't imagine it's a case of if, is it? From here, it should be just a given. But that's not the best shot he's ever played, is it? But he should be fine. He cues the ball well, doesn't he? So he'd
Yeah,
expect
he's
to
a
pop that
sweet.
ball.
Yeah,
I'd probably play for it now, wouldn't you? Just swing round off the 2
Yeah.
or screw straight over, depending
Have a
on your
free shot
angle, and
at
have
it.
a free shot at it while the black's not potable. And then if he cues it nice, it's game over. Gav, you live near Josh, don't you? You must know him very well.
Yeah, we practiced together quite a few times.
I imagine he beat you a lot, didn't he?
At Eton. I think his dad's even better. He does a few chicken wings at Yarmouth.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't really remember Yarmouth. I was off my tree for about 4 days straight. Remember turning up there, but a bit like this week, really. I didn't realise it wasn't someone's stag do. I thought, I didn't realise it we were.
Oh, what?
Well, this frame's
Oh, he's-
ridiculous. Some of the misses we've seen
Yeah,
so
I
I
far.
think Josh is just feeling the
He's not settled yet, Josh, has he?
No.
He needs this frame more now than what Lee does, I think,
Yeah.
because he's just not settled at all.
Well, I mean, what shot was he playing, even if that yellow goes in? What? It's an
Well,
odd
he
way
was
of
on the
playing.
other yellow, wasn't he?
What? Yeah, but he can't have been playing
He
it quite
played
like
it.
that.
He's plumb on the tough yellow.
Yeah, he can't have been. I don't
played-
seriously
he
think
played-
he's playing it quite like that, though.
He played it with beside him, didn't he? Gone up. Could have just stunned that.
Yeah.
Come for the same.
He's concentrating on the cue ball, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's took his half the pot, which can happen at this game. This is not an easy shot at all, though, is it? I mean, natural angle looks like the white's going to be close to the middle if he went for the cut. He's played the double.
I mean, Josh was pretty lucky there that he didn't leave an easier shot at the black, having missed.
Yeah, what's your choice here, Mark? Are you playing a snooker or are you going for these?
Well, I think the way he's played so far, he'd be better playing for a snooker. I mean, I think normally you expect him to clear up, but
Yeah, I mean,
I always think, though, if you keep giving him chances of getting out snookers,
Yeah.
you're asking for
And
it.
I
One
think
of them probably will be a
if
fluke.
you're just leaving a one-cushion escape, you're always asking the question
Or, yeah,
for it to be fluke.
and if he's feeling it now, if he draws the black out the snooker, Josh is more under it.
I think
Well,
I can
he's not got the
understand why he's
snooker.
played that, because obviously he's not going to be too confident at the moment, is he?
It's not a snooker, though, is it?
It looks like he might even better just get through to roll it up the top. It's by no means an easy shot, is it? But
I think
it's a free shot.
A free shot because
Because you think you've lost, don't you?
Well, I have to say, after the first 2 frames, this wasn't the standard of play we were expecting.
I don't think Lee's ever won this, has he? So it's new for both.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think there's a degree of pressure on Lee, because although he's
Yeah.
been out here a lot, like he hasn't won that many big singles tournaments in this arena. I think he'll be quite keen to get this one.
That's a great shot.
He's going. Couldn't be any better on the double, could he, than that? If that's what he's chose to.
Well, I think
play
I'll be
with it.
stunning around the angles.
You think the yellow goes nicely in the middle if he swings
Yeah.
off 2 or 3 cushions?
Three.
Float for it.
3, 4
Probably
cushions,
3, might be 4, yeah, if you use the
4
bulk.
cushions, and dropping it in the middle.
I think it's worth playing that because you either land plumb on it in the middle or you've got the same shot you've got now
Yeah.
anyway, haven't you?
Just make sure you get up there.
Unless it slides, that looks good.
Well, that's the best shot he's played so far. He's looking more confident again now.
This would be a huge lift for Josh. He would have felt like he's lost this frame 2 or 3 times, wouldn't he? And that 3-0 down, he wouldn't, you know, like we said earlier on, it's a very lonely arena when you're out there on your own.
Yeah, well, I've had matches where he's missed less shots than this. I mean, he's given Lee a handful of chances. He's
Yeah.
been quite lucky that he hasn't given him an easy one.
Yeah. Josh did get off to a sluggish start yesterday in his, I think it was quarter-final against Joe O'Connor. And he started sluggish, and then when he sort of hit his rhythm, he ran out about 4 or 5 frames at the end to win the match, where he just cleared from his very first visit. So he is a very impressive player when he gets on a roll, and Lee will know this. So
Yeah, I mean, 2-1 there is a big difference from 3-0 and a big confidence boost. He's sensibly going out of the arena to steady himself for a moment. I think Lee there, as we can just see his feet in the background, is just still sitting quietly in his chair.
it's a fantastic setup, isn't it?
See a few more people piling in now. There's, of course, the team playoff still going on at the other end of the corridor.
There's no other setup in pool like this, is there really? This is the best setup I think I've seen. I've watched stream for so many different countries, different events, and this is by far and away the best arena that you can play in.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see tomorrow. It's a great atmosphere when it's the team matches. You get one side of the arena for each team,
Absolutely,
a real partisan
yeah.
spirit.
Yeah. What are you hoping personally for the final to be? Is there any sort of grudge clash you'd like to commentate on? Or?
Well, no grudge clash. I mean, it's been nice. We've seen a few outsiders. Malta won a couple of years ago. I mean, although none of us wanted to see you guys lose. Like having teams like that, they were a nice bunch of lads, came over and did well.
Yeah.
And the Australians last year, I mean, you've got to think that's a long way. It's a 24-hour flight to come over here.
Yeah, they've not come back with the same team this year, have they? Unfortunately, obviously.
No, they've got absolutely great team last year.
That
unbelievable,
team
wasn't
they
it?
had last year was one of the best teams I think they could field, which was a fantastic team, and in a way they rightly deserved to win it.
Yeah, I mean, that performance last year. I mean, they were one roll away from losing in the semi-finals, and they came back into it and then did a job in the final.
I think this year from the group stages, I think the best team I personally think we played was India. Quite like their team. I thought they were all steady sticks. They all know what they're doing, and we only beat them 11-10, I believe, wasn't it? It was a very close game. I would expect them to be there or thereabouts to the final this year.
I haven't seen the full results. Did you guys come through unbeaten?
No, we've done what we usually do and lose to Mauritius.
the slight outside.
Just trying to get an holiday, really.
They haven't won a game, and as usual, they go and roll us over.
So no money, hopefully, on that match. It wasn't no suggestion of the match being thrown.
No, we're trying to get a friendly over there.
I mean, that's another team, though. That's a long way to be coming. Like, if you've ever flown to Mauritius, it's a decent journey away.
Absolute fantastic team of blokes. So have you met Smiler? Or his nickname Smiler? You've never met a happier bloke in your life. I'm not sure what his
He pops the
actual
ball
real-
and says, sorry, like
Yeah,
this. He's going,
I'm
sorry.
not actually sure what his real name is. Something Japur, is it? Shabir Japur, I think it is. And I've never come across a human being like it in my entire life. He's just laughing and smiling the entire time. When he gets a fluke, he almost looks like he's going to cry because he's so upset for you. He apologises when he pots a ball. He even says sorry when he has a kick. Because with a smile, he's just a incredible bloke.
I mean, it's nice to see guys like that. It's always nice to see people who it's kind of their final when they come over and just playing it. And I know, you guys, you play in this all the time, and it's a slightly more business-like performance. Perhaps it's not as much of a novelty as it was the first time.
The England team's been very professional this week, taking it very serious. Obviously, not really drinking or going out or anything like that. Going to the gym most days.
Well, I'm sure you'd be wanting to keep that going, so we'll take the tray of drinks away. let you carry on just with the water tonight.
It's probably the most overweight England team we've had, isn't it? We've obviously got me, Gav. We got a couple pound between us. Shane Thompson, he carries a bit of weight. He even stole Aaron Davies' aftershave earlier on, by all accounts.
We're running some kind of new handicap event, are we, like a horse race where people carry a different weight depending on their performance?
Open table.
These are the sort of frames Kenny likes, though, isn't it? He'll take command and very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of game Josh isn't really looking to get involved with if he can
This
help.
is where I'm not going to be able to help you boys out on commentary with any sort of shot selection tips.
We did say that to me at the bar. I said, if it goes into a fudging game, we'll just walk away for 10 minutes because we ain't got a clue.
A couple of substitutions in the commentary book.
Well, I've probably played the best safety shot of the week earlier on, where I could snooker the guy on all his balls, and all I managed to do was leave him dead straight on 2 roll-ins, so wasn't bad, was it?
Good thinking, deceptive play there, don't we?
Well, I thought, I'd trick him and leave him the finish, but obviously he got them.
Didn't fall for your little trick then.
That's a nice shot.
Yellow balls in play.
So as you can see, a few balls clustered on the left-hand side of the table for Lee, less open than the first 3 frames. I don't think he'll mind this too much, though. Having lost that last frame, he just wants to steady himself, get back into it.
It's a tough decision he's got to make here, isn't it? Because by going into those balls, if he eventually does, he also opens up the frame for Josh, doesn't he? I think he's more inclined to cover the bag here,
Yeah, legal always.
Yeah, I mean, on past performance of what we've seen from him in final stages of tournaments, he's not somebody that will be trying to open those up unless he's got a perfect opportunity.
That's close, though. He's judged that nicely. Great shot.
Yeah, I mean, we often talk about covering a pocket like it's the sort of easy option, but some shots like that, you've still got to judge it.
I mean, as I've previously mentioned, I have not got a clue what I'm doing at frames like this, but in this scenario, I would be as keen as possible to get that yellow out the way now and drop him in, give him the 2 from there. If he's going to get them, he's going to get them, because he's got about 3 problem balls, really, at the moment, isn't he? And the longer Josh lets this go with that yellow there, Lee will be clever and manipulate his balls.
I think sometimes there's a kind of respect thing. Like, I think if you were playing in a league match, you would 100% do that. I think perhaps you think when you're playing the England captain, it just doesn't look quite right to be just passing his ball and leaving him a shot.
I got told a phrase when I used to play snooker that you play the balls and not the player, but I think it's slightly different in this game, because if a player is really good tactically, you want to try and avoid these type of frames with them, don't you? Where that's what Josh will be wanting to do here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that advice about never playing the player is sometimes completely wrong, because if you know your opponent's not very good, you throw down the gauntlet.
When you pumped me, you obviously you knew that I was garbage at rolling balls over the hole, so you done what you had to do, and before you knew it, I had the long drive home from Telford or wherever it was, wasn't it? So
that was the plan. I took advice from these 2 beforehand. They said you couldn't pot a ball, so
couldn't pot a ball.
Go for it.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, we might be swapping Gav Lomax out for Dave Fernandez soon because Gav has forgotten how to talk.
We don't get a word in edgeways for you anyway.
You might as well go to the bar now and get us a drink.
That's going to drop.
It was a bad miss, that.
So as we kind of foreshadowed, the position is just getting worse for Josh, having
Yep.
not played that deliberate foul. I think it was, if that ball that Lee has just played hadn't been down this end of the table, he'd have definitely played it, but I think there was no way of playing the foul without just leaving him bang on an easy yellow, and I think it just seemed instinctively like the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I just think with these frames, the longer you let them go, the less likely Josh is to win them, because Kenny's got to be up there. I mean, along with Brewer and a few other select players, are the best tactical players I've seen. Obviously, Gav is one of the worst pool players, full stop, that's probably played for England.
Oh, that's good.
While we're on that subject, but no, Kenny's definitely one of the best tactical players I've come across. Obviously, yourself, you're very clever tactically, aren't you?
Born
you
by
like a
not being
fudge. You
born
like a
by not
fudge.
being able to clear the table up. Yeah.
Yeah, you like a fudge. I think Jack Popel's very, very good tactically as well, isn't he? Of the players I've come across.
I mean, there's the issue as well about both being good at it but actually being prepared to play it. Like, I think some people have a sense of embarrassment. They think that to be seen as being a good pool player, you just got to bash all the balls in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Dave.
Yeah. Dave hasn't missed a ball since 1984, like we said earlier on.
Are we on about Dave Fernandez or Vera?
Although, coming to Dave's defence, as we haven't furnished him with a microphone,
No.
he is in the World Semi-Final and none of the three of us are. So.
We are waiting for him to take over and have a bit of a chat on the mic. We should be getting that for you soon, ladies and gentlemen.
He's about 2 points away from being ready to provide his analysis.
It's unusual for Dave to be drinking, to be honest. I think Josh's in a world of trouble here. This is not the sort of frame he'll be comfortable playing against Kenny, is it? Very open player, very aggressive.
Yeah, and the black's tied.
There's no finish here, is there, other than doubling the long black, which you're not going to want to leave yourself, are you?
No, I mean, these reds are in a sort of ugly position because Lee's completely got the bottom of the table tied up.
And it's catch-22 because the shot to split the reds out is what also gets Lee's problem ball out the way as well. So I think he's going to play the DF here and hope to stop the black from going. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
No, I mean, that's actually turned out relatively well. It was going to be hard to leave the red right over the pocket.
I
But
still think Lee has all the control, but it hangs Josh in there for another visit or two, doesn't it? Lee's not going to go for the finish from here.
No, I mean, Lee, as you say, is already looking for an opportunity to get that yellow back over the bottom right-hand corner pocket. He wants to try, obviously he can't do it from here, but wants to try to get himself into a position ultimately where he can wrest control back again.
It's a great effort. I didn't even see that shot.
Is that because of the beer?
What sort of shot is that? He's tried to long treble the ball over the bag. I was going for the finish from there in my mind. But that's a clever shot, isn't it? Did you see that shot, Gav?
No.
Are you still here?
Yeah,
Okay.
just
I
woke
didn't
up.
know if your microphone got switched off. That was all.
I mean, what kind of inspiration do you guys draw from Kenny? I mean, it's probably the situation where once you qualify for England, you're all so good that you're not exactly seeking advice.
I wouldn't say all the team's good. I think that's a misquote. I think there's some in the team that are a lot weaker than others, but obviously if they spend enough money at the bar, they keep getting retained, which that's up to the England policy for that. I'm obviously only joking.
See
I think this year, I think even Steve Mills went on record to say he thought this year was the best 10 he's ever had in the same squad at one time. It's a very, very good year to have been in the team, isn't it?
Yeah, we just got to do the business.
Do the business, yeah. You don't get nothing for having a good squad, do you? You got to get the job done.
I mean, you guys must fancy it. I mean, you must fancy it every year, but there's not the same Australian team as you say. And
No,
I don't
and
think
Ireland's not quite as good as they were without Steve Dempsey and Carl O'Donoghue. I mean, they're a good side, but that's their two best players, obviously not playing at the moment.
Carl O'Donoghue not playing either.
Not playing in the team, no.
I just saw him in the audience, but I hadn't realised he
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
playing.
he's here for a week on the beer, I think. And here for the Masters, yeah.
It's a tough gig for the Australian team. I was talking to some of them earlier, and just the cost of coming over here. You can't just come over every
Yeah,
year.
a couple of their players told me it cost them close to £3,000 to come over for this, which obviously is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's tricky. And it takes a lot of time. You're over here for a couple of weeks. It sort of eats into
Yeah,
your
well,
holiday.
they come sort of 2-3 days before the event, don't they, because of how long it takes to travel over. And it's a big commitment to do it year in, year out.
If you go on that Lions trip, Gav, to Australia a few years ago.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Love to go back.
There are rumours that it might be happening again, isn't there? Possibly
Yeah.
another Lions tour. Maybe later this year or next year.
The tables are so much different though.
You've been a couple of times, haven't you?
Down
for
the
Lions
rails,
tours?
playing shots down the rails. They're so evil.
Yeah.
You just nick the knuckle and it's.
Have you preferred playing on the slightly bigger tables over there, or?
I have, because my break's normally the worst ever.
Yeah.
I always going off in the middles, and because they're a bit longer,
Yeah.
I don't find the middle quite as often. But I suppose that's just bad queuing on breaking. Letting the white go.
I don't think it's a reason to get a bigger table of itself.
No, no. But,
Gav,
No,
that's
but
the break. Play on a bigger table.
but their middle pockets are massive, but the down the rail, like I say, they're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of unusual tables, aren't they? They're just a bit different. They're
Yeah.
just not quite the same.
Net pockets and.
Have you ever been able to commentate on any of the Lions tours? Or?
No, I used to live I lived in Sydney for a while. I was working out there, so I saw a bit when I was out there, but no, I wasn't out there to play.
Yeah, I think it was.
What was that? Josh must have time fouled. Yeah, he must have done because. Yeah, it must be a time foul.
Yeah, a bit of serious foul, so it's ball in hand.
Oh, you'd be very disappointed with that, wouldn't you?
From there, yeah.
there. I think he obviously wasn't favourite in the frame anyway, but that's a big blow.
That's incredibly unusual as well. Of all
I've
the
never
matches
seen one. I've never seen one.
Of all the matches I've commentated on this, I think we've only seen that once or twice. You see people get close, but it's very rare to.
Well, I still didn't see it then, yeah, and I was watching it.
Yes. I mean, I think it's a little bit alien that this is their first match in this arena, this tournament, and Josh's first for something like this. So perhaps not used to having a timekeeper all the time.
That's a bad miss for.
That is a bad miss because it's a gimme finish with two, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
This could go wrong a
This
little
can
bit,
go
yeah.
wrong now with one, can it?
Yeah, it's just this bottom corner pocket and tossing the second one. Danger of tying it up.
Nice view for all at home, isn't it?
John Rowe message: Kinga is clueless. Get him off.
Is that what he said? No. I'll have words with him when I see him. Obviously, it's hard for you to be clueless if you don't talk, Gav.
John Rowe, of course, was the man that beat Lee Kendall in 2012 in the World Final.
Yeah, they're best friends as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they were sharing a room that
Yeah.
day when they came down for that match. I mean, that's what you don't see on the table. You see them on opposite sides of the arena. It always looks very adversarial, but most of the guys are good friends off the table.
There's only a handful of the England team I would say I'm good friends with that I particularly like, really. There's two
Presumably
there.
neither of these two.
Shane.
No, I really like Dave, massive fan. Like I said, I really wanted to be world champion. Gav, I can't really stand him, but obviously there's always some in some team that you don't like, and you can't get on with everyone, can you?
So just got to be a bit careful here. We'll see.
Yeah, he's thinking about playing it off the red, but I think that can go wrong.
I think I'd play that quite hard.
Yeah.
Just bounce the red right out, make
Bounce
sure
the
it's
red
gone.
right out. When you look at that camera angle, this shot doesn't look straightforward at all, does it?
No, when you say bounce out, the trouble is you could bounce it out a long way if you. We could bounce
Can you
the
not
wide.
bounce
Clean,
the red out?
that's
Yeah,
on.
that's a very clever shot. That's good.
That's what I say. Play it harder, get the red right out of the way.
Yeah.
Even if the white goes up the table, you still got a shot at the black.
Well, it's been an unusual couple of frames. The first two were exactly what we expected, quick dishes from Kendall, but these last two frames have had everything in.
Yeah.
And after a flawless performance in the commentary box from Gav Lomax, we've had a substitution. Dave Fernandez steps in.
Afternoon, everyone. Nice to
Welcome,
join you.
Dave. You've already said more words than Gav.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here all week.
Good to see the team spirit in the England team ahead of the match tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Should be a good day. Hopefully, we get the job done, Mikey.
Yep, let's hope so.
So you don't know who you're playing yet? They're still playing the playoffs.
No, the
presumably.
playoffs are tonight, I believe, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the other room, yeah.
We'll be down there, I think, probably having a keen eye on it after this match.
Some good teams still left in there.
Yeah.
I think, like you said earlier, India, a very good side. And you can never write off teams like Scotland either. and things
Ireland,
like that.
I think
Ireland.
they're all capable players, aren't they?
Definitely, it was a bit of a shock that Wales went out, weren't it? Really?
Yeah. I always fancied their chances. While they had Cousins in their team, who's arguably the best player in the world at the moment, world rules, he's winning most things, isn't he?
Tom Price as well. When Richard got to the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
of the,
Zach
the
Shepherd,
Worlds
I
as
think,
well.
is a lot better player than
to not
a
finish
lot
in
of
the
people
top
think.
6
Yeah.
is like a big shock, I reckon.
Yeah.
Been a bit scrappy so far this match, hasn't it?
Yeah. I've just had a personal message from John Rowe. He said he sat at home. He's a bit emotional at the moment watching his mate play while he got knocked out. But, you know, John, you'll come back a better player, a better man. It's, you know, it can't be your year every year. That's a good shot.
I think Lee just wants to get this back on an even keel. I think he'll just be a bit surprised about what's happened the last couple of frames. Some odd stuff's happened.
I think it's one of those that doesn't affect you when you win the frame, does it? Kenny would have
Yeah,
walked
that's
away
the
from
thing.
that last
He'd be very
frame
happy being
really
3-1
just
up.
happy to be 3-1. He
Definitely.
won't care about mistakes because he's won the frame, where
Yeah, absolutely.
it affected Josh quite a bit, I'd imagine.
Well, and I think coming back into it, because I think Lee will have been sitting there stewing after the third frame that he expected to win.
Getting it back to 2-1, definitely. We had numerous chances in that frame, and so did Josh. So that one was definitely going to hurt. Don't seem to be going into the pockets clean with him, though, do they?
No.
Just sneaking into the edges and
Sneaking in.
he's running out of position here, and they're losing the white a little bit.
Has he got a shot here?
Well, this could be pretty awkward. If he's close to touching this, he may not be able to see the one over the middle.
Over the middle?
Near the middle. Sort of dropping it in the middle, obviously.
I thought I was watching the wrong screen, Mark. It's a tough shot now, isn't it? Yeah,
So dangerous to play on a new table as well. Could easily slide down
Yeah.
the rail and just play a bit bigger bags, really.
Yeah, you look ridiculous when you just get down and pot the black in the middle of it.
I think Gav would have even had something to say about that shot if it went in.
So back to the kind of tactical game that Josh was looking to get away from in the last one.
But
Yeah.
again, he's probably got to be happy to be back at the table, really.
Yep.
It's a frame again, he should have been over, really. as
Should
good
have
as
been over in
Kendall
one
is.
visit, and you're getting a free visit.
And I think for Lee, he's going to want to take a few of these in one visit. Although he's a good tactical player, like you don't really win first to 8 matches by fudging too much. He knows he needs some clearances as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little delicate shot here. He's going to have to drop this in.
I've just had another personal message through to my mobile from Kane Skinner, who's a massive Lee Kendall fan, sat at home rooting for him. He says he's not a big fan of Josh Kane, doesn't really like him and his dad. So he's the current Firmiston Pool League champion, I believe. Would that have been a league off levels, Gav, or was that a handicap league? Handicap league, and he got 2 start. Okay, that's a good achievement, though, isn't it?
So Josh Kane making good progress in this frame. Actually looking considerably more promising a position than he was in a moment ago.
Yeah, I think it was touching ball, didn't he? That's why he played the black down there. So I think he's only got 1 visit, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky what to do with that yellow down there, isn't it? It clearly doesn't go.
I mean, it's just how you're going to play safe off of it, to be honest with you.
I don't think he's thinking about playing safe. I think he's
Maybe
trying to take these out, but
to play to get on it, it's going to be tricky.
perhaps it does go by that choice of shot.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's
Possible,
played
yeah.
there, you've got to
You
think,
think it might
must.
go, and he's tried to drop on it there and then.
I think when we saw the overhead view originally, the black wasn't right over the pocket, so there may well be a gap behind it.
There is a bit of a gap there, yeah.
I would say Josh definitely has one of the better hairstyles of the pool players currently playing the game, wouldn't you say, Mark?
It's an impressive head of hair he's sporting.
Just play
Yeah,
one.
that yellow must go. That's a great shot.
This would be a nice one for him if he
Yeah.
can take this one down. Calm a few nerves. Yeah, plenty of room. Just cue this final yellow in 3-2. He'd be more than happy with 3-2 after the start he's made.
Yeah, and it shows that was a costly shot from Lee that led to this opportunity. You wouldn't have expected him to end up touching that red, and once he was, you wouldn't have expected him just to leave Josh in with a clearance available.
He took him out very nicely though. Run out of position a little bit, but he's such a great potter, Josh, anyway, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's looking a lot more assured now. Well, I think, strange to say, he'll probably be the happier of the 2 players at
Yeah,
3-2
I
down.
definitely would agree with that comment. Lee would have expected to be 4-1, maybe 5-0 up from the 5 frames played. It's going to be 3-2. Josh will be absolutely delighted. And obviously, as you mentioned before, of the 2 players, Josh is probably more of a recent winner of big events out of the 2 singles-wise, so he won't be fazed by playing.
No, and I think there's a big advantage in being young. Like, I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but most people are a lot more carefree when they're starting out. Like, Lee's sort of been there and knows how hard some of these things can
Yeah,
be.
you've got less wounds and battle scars, haven't you, when you're a younger chap?
And also, it's his only focus. I mean, Lee is astonishingly dedicated to pool, but he's obviously got family and other commitments in life. When you're younger, like pool, you can play all the time, and it's the only thing you think about sometimes.
Yeah, Dave's obviously got, very dedicated family life at home. Doesn't really socialise or anything away from the pool scene. Takes pool very seriously. You'd understand that comment, wouldn't you?
you got to try it, yeah, 100%.
Definitely the real people's champion, Dave Fernandez. No questions asked.
I think with Josh, I mean, yesterday I played Josh in the semi-final, and his break was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every break, getting balls and then taking them out as well. So it's a massive part of his game, like you're saying. The way he splits them, if he does start breaking dry, then he's going to leave opportunities for Lee to just take him out. So.
Yeah.
He's had an interesting path to the the final, just looking at the draw, he beat Jack Popel 7-6 in the last 32, which would have been a very tough game. He then followed that up with an 8-0 Rob Sim. Don't know, are you familiar with Rob Sim?
No, I'm not familiar
Not
with
sure
him.
who he is.
I do know that Josh obviously got a very big following here at the moment. He's got his best mate from Leicester's here watching, Scott Taylor. He's eating 5 Chinese at the moment, apparently, all at
Wow,
once.
that was a bit wild.
While
Was it
he's
the wrong
watching.
ball completely?
Well, what's happened there? That's
I don't think he knows what he's done.
a strange flick. He's spotted 2 balls there that he wasn't going for at all.
No, he's landed absolutely fine. I think that yellow goes past now as well. I
And
think
even
he's
if it
had an
didn't,
absolute
even if
miracle.
it didn't, it would go in off the red, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely a big bag if he needs it.
Well, the strange run of the ball continues, which has been some odd stuff in the last few frames.
Yeah, definitely, guys. It's definitely a big bag from the camera angle.
30 seconds.
So it couldn't have actually come out any better, really. Just one positional shot here just to... Just fancies it in the middle.
I think Kenny definitely needs to invest in a reasonable sized pair of underwear to cover up, cover up the gap on show.
I had to provide him with a bit of fashion advice before tomorrow's match, I think.
Or perhaps tuck the shirt in, one of the two. Apologies for the viewers at home. You know, it's obviously
Past the
before
watershed.
before watershed
Calls it
time.
a 7 and no one needs to see that.
Perhaps we'll get the semi-finals on after 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
I've got a nice pair, it's alright.
I'm sure none of you will be mentioning it to him after the match. So.
And
I
now
don't
this
know, I might be about 6 points in by then. I could say anything after the match.
blue top or green top.
Here we go.
This opportunity's just come out of nowhere.
Shot.
Josh. Wow. I don't know, Josh is going to take that, really.
No, it's a massive slice, wasn't it? But at this game, you've got to take advantage of everything you get.
And the 8 ball for 4-2.
Well, it's not been the most conventional route to this scoreline, but I think he'd have taken 4-2 before it started, and he'll take it given the way it's played out.
Definitely. It's weird at the moment. I think kind of Josh is happy not to be out the game completely, and Lee's, yeah.
Lee just sharing a joke with the referee, Sasha Gauchi there, before he racks the balls up. Excellent referee, Sasha's come over from Malta for the event.
It's nicer for Kendall. I bet he prefers playing in the Masters anyway at the moment, because when we play for England, obviously, and everything like that, with the waistcoat, the Dickibo, the heat is unbelievable. So
Yeah.
just playing in a normal T-shirt or a polo is...
Yeah, it has been very tough conditions here this week, hasn't it, for all the players involved?
Definitely, it's been absolutely
Well,
boiling.
I think perhaps from the viewer's perspective, the waistcoat tucked in might be
Yes,
might be to be
yeah.
preferred.
Yeah, that's
Mr. King himself.
Mr. King himself there, yeah. Bumming up my captain, trying to get 3 points for me while he's there. Hopefully he's getting him a drink. Good man. That might get me in the semi-final lineup tomorrow now.
Slipping him the brown envelope to get you in the team.
We've caught him on camera now, we're all right.
Still looking very focused. He's the kind of guy that doesn't really change. He still looks the same whether he's 4-2 up or 4-2 down.
This would be a fantastic scout for Lee with the draw that he's had. If he could go on to win this event, he would probably consider this the biggest event he's won with the draw he's had.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's beaten top player after top player. All of whom he wouldn't have been a strong favourite if he was a favourite at all. He may well have been the underdog in some of those matches.
And he was. I watched last night against Ben Flack. He was very much under the cosh when he was 6-3 down, I believe. And he played some fantastic pool to come back and win that.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're playing a lot of the teammates. He's played a lot of people that he knows well en route to this final.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit harder as well. Let's say playing Ben Flack in the previous round. They're very good friends and got mates on and off the table sort of thing. So
they're the harder games, I believe.
They are the harder games, 100%.
I think there's also a degree of pressure for Lee. He's been the captain for a long time, but wants to show that he's still up there individually doing it every time.
Yeah, I mean, in the Euros, he's a brave man. He wasn't afraid to drop himself from the team event. He didn't feel he was in good enough form at the time and pulled himself out of the team. I mean, he's a very proud man, but he's not afraid to drop himself. I think that's gone slightly wrong, though.
Yeah, it doesn't
Obviously,
look
now
entirely
Kenny's got
comfortable
his
still.
nose in front. He wants to sort of stamp his authority on the match now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of these odd-numbered frames where the difference between 5-2 and 4-3 is quite big.
30 seconds.
I don't know if this table's playing a bit quicker. He seems to be losing the white a bit more as well. Overrunning it here and there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that the shot he's had to play there, that clearly wasn't where he'd intended to end up.
Yeah, he's played it nicely. He's
Yeah.
got the bag, which is, again, like Michael always says, is a clever shot, just keeping him in the frame and puts Josh straight under pressure again because it's bringing him into a tactical frame, which you make Kendall favourite in every one of them.
The only thing I would say is if he could get through to that yellow in the corner, which I'm guessing he can't because he hasn't really shaped up as if he's playing that, he could finish these, couldn't he? Because he could pot it, leave the double on the tough yellow, swing around the rails and just avoid getting involved with these tactical frames rather than...
Yeah. It's
having
easier said than
It's
done.
easier
though.
said than done, isn't it? And
you don't want to
also...
start chasing finishes
No.
and breaking down late on because then
No.
Lee's just going to take you apart anyway. So it's... I think it's with these sort of frames, you can't be giving Kendall just free visits for nothing.
No,
sort of
I
thing,
think
so-
he's tried to treble that over the bag,
Yeah,
if I'm honest, and
definitely, yeah.
he's just left it quite a bit short. Obviously gives Lee a free shot here, really. I think he can try and float the red down the rail, and if he gets it, he'll finish.
Quite a long way away from that, though.
Very good cue ball, though.
Yeah, I don't know if
I think he was concentrating more on the cue ball than the...
Yeah, I agree.
pot.
It wasn't on anything otherwise. It's a big opportunity for either of these players at the minute. If any of them catch a little bit of form or anything at the moment, they could easily create a bit of a gap.
Yep. Well, I think the next couple frames obviously are far more important to Josh than they are to Lee, because if Lee gets to 5 or 6, he's going to be tough to catch from there because of how he plays, his knowledge and his experience. Where Josh is looking to get on a bit of a roll and have a dish fest at the moment, isn't he? Which
Definitely.
is just not happening.
But like you say, Lee's just tightening the screw a little bit.
I think it was probably a match that they both fancy in different ways. I think when they saw this draw and who they'd got, they'd have both... You know, Lee would have thought, as a young attacking player, I can use my experience. Josh would have thought, this is a guy who isn't going to be dishing every frame, so I'll get some chances.
That's a careless mistake, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen him not hit a ball out of a snooker that we would 100% expect him to.
Guessing
As
the
you
cushion
mentioned,
space
though, Mark.
slide.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Mark, both of these players would see this as an opportunity because the nature of the draw with the FA Cup style draw, it was funny. There was about an hour period yesterday where Phil Harrison, Mick Hill and Tom Cousins all lost within a space of an hour. And I think all the 16 players that were left in the event at that point sort of saw an opportunity to go and win it. I mean, I know all the players believe they can win these big events anyway, but when you have arguably the 3 best players in the event all go out at the same time, it certainly creates an opportunity for someone, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone always says you've obviously got to believe you can win it in principle, but it's a different thing thinking I'm definitely going to do this. Whereas once the draw opens up a bit, suddenly you can actually see the path to victory.
Yeah, and then obviously Carl Boyce got a very, very fortunate draw, because after that he then got Gav in the quarterfinals, which is
Virtually
literally
a buy through to the final.
buy through to £1,000, isn't it? Which
Slightly unfair this. We've taken Gav's microphone away now. Now we're going to lay into.
he wasn't saying anything before, to be fair,
he
Mark.
says more off the microphone than he does on the microphone.
He said 6 words since he's been off the microphone. He's doubled his speech.
Sorry, Dave, have you gone to sleep?
Gav, do you want to do us all a favour, pal? Go get us a beer.
No.
I'm trying to concentrate on the pause. The viewers want to watch the pool. They don't want to hear you, Gav.
30 seconds.
So who will be commentating on the team semis final with you, Mark?
I think, as you'll have seen from our organisational skills tonight, we may not have got that far yet.
I'm assuming Gav won't be asked back, will he?
Well, it depends if he doesn't find his way into the team final or team
Well,
semi tomorrow. He might be available.
He won't be in the team, but it's whether you want him in the commentary box as well, isn't it?
Should I be all out for it?
Yeah, I think he's a very good QS, doing the. You fancy this? Pump it with a bit of pace. Black in the same bag, Matt. I thought he'd play that a bit more firmer, but
I think
he's
with
okay.
the start of the game, I think he was kind of just making sure, thinking, if I pump it a little bit and snooker myself behind the black and rattle the yellow,
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
He almost doesn't need to go for this in the obvious bag, does he? He could just set this up.
He's still got 2, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
so
Although
just
it's
plays into
obvious
the
to
cushion
play in the
first.
corner, he could.
Yeah, just go cushion first.
30 seconds.
If he doesn't pot, you should be over the bag, unless you
Oh,
play it
no.
badly.
Oh, he's okay. He's okay.
Oh, he's been a little bit fortunate there. That could have tucked behind the row.
4-3, and again, Josh will be very happy at 4-3.
Yeah, he'll be the happy of the 2 players at the moment, won't he? Even though he's still trailing.
Yeah, he definitely will. Yeah, I mean, it's been a funny match. That shouldn't really be the case, but somehow he could have been. Well, he could have been 7-0 down, really, the way it's gone.
Definitely. Arguably, only the frame to go 2-1, wasn't it? It's the only frame he's probably been liable to win, because
Yeah.
he made a few mistakes. See, your dad's got him his drink now, so
Yeah.
that's you in tomorrow.
That's me. Ensured my place in the semi-final team. Thank God.
Might even get a break.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
You don't want to be fudging, do you? You want to just break and go.
I go when they're fudge frames, Dave. You know.
Tend to see slightly fewer tactical frames. We're going to be switching to the 8-foot table tomorrow. It tends to be a bit more open.
You won't see any tactical frames when I play, pal, because I'm absolutely useless.
Not sure. I guess everyone knows already. I was going to say you shouldn't be broadcasting your tactical views to everyone before your match tomorrow.
Anyone that's seen me play one safety shot knows I'm useless. I try to cover the bag, end up covering half the cushion.
Another dry break.
It's actually pretty hard covering the bags on that 8-foot table. You
Yeah,
find
it's
there's gaps around
different,
them.
yeah. And the cushions are more reactive, very slidey.
If you guys had a chance to practice, I don't think the practice table's been built yet. has
We
it?
get an hour, don't we, on the afternoon of the semis and final, I believe,
Yeah.
between the
I
whole
think we're on at
squad.
6 o'clock tomorrow, aren't we? We're at
Yeah.
the second semi-final, so ours will probably be a bit later on in the afternoon.
But yeah, it certainly is a different experience playing on that table. I think the angles of the cushions is the thing that deceives players the most with playing doubles or getting out of snookers. That's the thing I found hardest to adjust to. What about yourself, Dave? Have you
I've only had a couple of frames on it, to be honest
Are
with
you
you.
looking forward to getting on there for
I've
your singles?
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
I think it will certainly suit the way you play the game, the way you cue the balls. Can't see it being a disadvantage, that's for sure.
He's played a bit of a loose shot there again.
I think he
Again,
just
losing
made
the
sure
white
he
ball.
was reds, didn't he? Because
It's not bad, but
he's in control of the frame.
he's not really on any of the ones down the bottom to take control of the
No.
pocket or get the bag. So again, it could be another opportunity for Josh to get his hand on the table and try and get something going, because he dry broke again, which isn't going to be winding
No.
him up a little bit now. You just try to hit him a bit harder next time, and then you start losing the white, and
Yeah.
then before
Yeah.
you know it, it's just snowballs.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it's amazing how often you see that. People come out of this arena saying, if I could have just broken properly, it would have been okay.
Yeah,
But it's
definitely.
exactly as you say, you start trying to adjust one thing and then something else goes wrong.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of breaking well, it's not about power, it's timing, isn't it? Cueing the ball sweetly and
Definitely
striking
rhythm,
it.
yeah.
And the more frustrated you get with dry breaks, you tend to hit them harder, and that has the opposite effect, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
the white could jump off the
White off-
table,
yeah.
or you just lose the white
You're
straight
standing off in the
bag.
middle,
Yeah,
or screwing the
exactly.
corner, and
Yeah, you can always see when people have hit it bad, they look like they're hitting it hard and the white's not moving very much.
yeah,
It's
when
gonna
you,
get
when you
smoothly
watch
through.
when you watch Tom Cousins break, I'd say he's probably got the best break I've seen, and he doesn't jump around or do anything extravagant. He just times the ball so well
And
that
they just go
they go
everywhere, but
everywhere, and obviously that's the key to the game, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I mean, he
big
gets so
shot
much
again.
pace into the cue ball,
Yeah.
as you say, without hitting it very hard.
He just cues it so well, doesn't he?
Played a
That's a
fantastic
very clever shot. That is. That's probably switched the momentum in the frame, isn't it?
I agree. It's good. Well, if it goes 4-all, Josh will be over the moon. But you can never write off Kenny when it gets to these tactical frames
no,
anyway.
No. For the next probably 5-6 minutes, it's not really worth me talking, I don't think. Not sure I'm going to be able to call any of the shots that
yours,
they try
mate?
to play.
3 cocktats, a double. And
The only thing I've seen is the black does double eventually.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that this visit. No, perhaps you need to work on Kenny a bit more, teach him your style of play. Well, maybe you have. That's quite
He's been watching you, Mike.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I do, snap up and twitch.
They both seem a bit tight at the moment, don't they?
Yeah. Very cagey affair at the moment.
We are, well, the 8th frame now, so we're
I think sometimes though these are the interesting games to watch when it can become a bit predictable and it's just finish after finish. As good as it is to watch, sometimes you like seeing the odd player miss a ball and make a mistake, don't you?
well. It's certainly been the thing with the team thing. Is it's been great having the team semis streamed the last couple of years. Some of those matches Australia were involved in last year, really nervous ends.
Yeah.
I think with team pool that happens naturally, doesn't it? Even if you don't feel the nerves. I mean, I've seen even players like Tom Cousins and things like that miss balls that you would
Yeah.
just never miss.
Yeah.
But team pool's just so different to when it's on your own back and it's on you.
Yeah, it's
People
funny how
tend
it
to deal with
changes.
better.
I was saying this to somebody the other day. We were watching a doubles match. It's amazing how you can play a doubles match between two teams of great players, and they start asking for advice from each other, although they've no idea how to play the game suddenly.
Well,
when
just
obviously they
even
all
from
know.
my short personal experience, I can safely say I've never experienced pressure like I've felt playing one frame pool for England.
Oh, it's
When I've
huge.
played in big games, I've never experienced nothing like that playing for myself. Whether it's winning any event or anything I used to have from my snooker background, it was nothing compared to the adrenaline of playing team pool stuff where your legs are shaking, arms shake, you know, the whole
Yeah,
lot
it's
is
funny, isn't
going
it? It's
all
a
at
totally
once,
different-
and
Crazy.
It's crazy. You can't
It's
you
the
can't
setup
control
of
it.
the
can you?
arena as well. I mean, like what was it, this time yesterday or a few hours ago even, there were so many tables in here, and you walk into the arena now, and it feels like a completely different place.
Yeah.
You walk in there and you're empty, you're on your own.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Well, actually,
But we've been here all week.
the crowd being well behaved and being quiet for the shots can sometimes make it difficult because it suddenly goes silent
Yeah.
and you're the only one out there.
It becomes more of a snooker environment, doesn't it, with this arena setup where it's quite quiet, where pool is more of a louder game, you know, those that have played at Yarmouth and stuff, where it's real loud atmospheres, teams going absolutely berserk when they win a frame.
Yeah.
That's what pool is about, where when it gets to this setup, it's a lot more quieter.
Poor shot.
Yeah, what's he done there? Well, I don't think I imagine he didn't think it was possible to get behind the red from where he was.
No.
Poor shot again.
Yeah, coming back to what you're saying there, I mean, when you watch like the Scottish team or the Irish team, particularly when they're playing in the evening and they come along with a lot of support, it's exactly that,
Yeah.
that sort of brutal atmosphere where people are shouting out. You know, the player comes to the table and the crowd is shouting for a finish when they're snookered, or there's just no shot available for them.
Yeah, it's a carnival type atmosphere, isn't it?
It kind of depends how you channel it. Like sometimes being, ooh, that's unlucky to go in off
It's
there.
unfortunate to go off there, isn't it?
Sometimes being nervous. I mean, it's probably as you guys say, is the one time when people with a lot of experience do get a bit nervous. Like sometimes that can be good. It's sort of you think about it a bit more, you steady yourself.
I think it's the younger generation and stuff like that. They have a bit more no fear. If you watch the under-23s or the juniors and stuff, they just go around just potting ball after ball after ball,
Yeah,
and obviously all
absolutely.
the men's team and stuff like that are capable of that as well, but
And
all
it's
of
the
a sudden it's what if I miss rather than a
yeah,
am
I've
I
got to get
leaving shot to
and
nothing.
the speed
and
as
stuff
well. I
like
mean, like watch any decent player practicing, they can just run around the table and knock everything in. But then people slow down in a
not
match.
all
and
players can just run around and knock them in.
some players. But it's funny how it changes it. Like people say you should try and practice like you play, but how many people really manage that completely?
Do you practice a lot yourself, Mark?
No, I hadn't. I think when I played you at the last tour, I hadn't played since the previous tour. So.
Were you going to mention that any more times?
You set them up, mate. I'll knock them down for you.
Well, I noticed when I got back to the hotel room, last night I was all trashed and this was all perfect.
Who won that game?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
He just wants to keep his 2 shots here. He don't want to play a bit of a loose shot and miss one of these to the top.
Definitely will
Down
want
to
to
the
get on
middle.
the one on the
Yeah,
rail first, won't he?
Taking it
Because
into the middle, I think, screwing down.
yeah, screw over for it. And like you said, you just concentrate now on making sure you keep your 2 for the black, because otherwise, well, I suppose he could set up and leave a double if he feels like.
Yeah, this could be
goes.
tricky there, because if he's going to try and top it through and then take it in the middle, he's going to have to judge it pretty well to hold for the black.
I think at this point, I think I'm bailing out of keeping my 2 and I'm setting this up and
Do you
leaving the double on the
Double on the
black. I mean, it's all how you feel, isn't it, at the time?
If you can get through and get near the corner bag,
Yeah, that's not
Then
too
he'll have
bad
to-
if he
he'll have
gets
a
there,
cut to
but
the
the
middle.
harder you pump this, the more likely you are to miss the
Yeah.
pot, aren't you?
he's managed
He's,
to get those
yeah, he's hit
points.
that nicely.
I think it's, well, now you literally got to just, because you're going to hold for the black
But this
anyway.
is now at the
which just
point of
needs
no return, isn't it, where he can't afford to miss the pot here.
Yeah, it's all or nothing on this. And he needs to judge it nicely as well,
Yeah.
because there's no point putting it come
No.
too far up the table and snookering yourself. So he's missed it, and now he's in big trouble.
Yep.
I thought when you were saying that, that was an almost unmissable shot for Lee, but I mean, he's missed that by a long way, isn't he?
I think he was concentrating on the pace of it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if the white runs any more, he's snooking himself on the black as well, and I think that's what he was trying to concentrate on, not to overdo it as well. And it's so easy to take your eye off the pot or get the angle wrong. Or
That is, as you said, though, the really unforgivable thing. It's okay if you choose to set the ball up and then you leave yourself a finish still, but now he's got 1 shot and no shot to go
I
at.
do fancy him to get this double, though. It's
Black
where he
double,
gets
yeah.
on the black.
ouch. And now, it's a chance to level the game.
Well, that
somehow, I don't know.
Yeah, that
how.
could be
Yeah.
a massive turning point in
And
this
Josh,
match.
Josh will somehow be sat in his chair at 4 each, wondering how he's even level, won't he?
Exactly. And now Lee will be sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
how am I not 2-3 frames ahead?
And this is where the game becomes more mental than anything, really, because you've got 2 players where one has possibly outplayed the other one, and they're only going to be at 4 frames each in a race to 10, which at some stage you'd like to fancy that Josh is going to find his bit of form and he's going to run 3 or 4 on the
So I
trot.
don't think he's put off the break yet, has he?
No,
So,
he's
I mean,
struggled with his break.
He starts making a couple of balls. Even if you can't clear him or you can't dish him, at least you get the first choice of colour and can take control of the frame and be on the front foot.
Yeah, I mean, he's won none of the sort of frames that he normally wins of the first visit quick clearances. They've all been scrappy ones where he somehow got let back in. I mean, he's made some good clearances, but they've all been ones where Lee's afforded him some chance.
He'll take them. He'll take them all.
I think Lee's just a bit fearful of this. I think he knows that Josh is the more likely of the 2 of them to string several frames together if he gets going. I think Lee's plan here was just to get off to a good start, which he did, and then try and stay a couple ahead.
I don't think we should underestimate Lee. I'll never forget on the UK pool tour when he does the Premier League and winner breaks and he ruled 7 off in a row to beat some guy 8-0.
Yes, that's true.
So,
That was right at the beginning of that format, wasn't it?
yeah,
It really
so,
took it apart.
He's capable as well. It'd just be nice for both of them to just hit a bit of a purple patch here. So
Yeah.
good for all to see. Scrappy frames, they all can, but I think the viewers want to see a couple of dishes in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looked at the beginning when Lee dished the first 2 that it might carry on like that. So, players back in the arena now, frame 9. Just pausing a moment where the referee's gone to get something, I think.
It's been a very strange game at the moment if you're just joining us. 4 apiece, a couple of dishes from Kenny at the start. And then from then, it's very been up and down, mixed bag.
I think if you came in and saw 4 apiece, you'd think that probably sounded about right and expect it could have been quite a quick game.
Yeah, the thing is, I think 4 all, like us watching it really, I think there's only one frame probably either way. 5-3 to maybe Lee would probably be a fair score. I think they've both missed opportunity, both missed chances, but you tend to think that maybe Lee should be in front with a couple of dishes he's had.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a bit more about Lee. He's been in first in a few more frames, and it's kind of either he's cleared up or he's let Josh in. It's like Josh hasn't got in enough at the beginning of frames.
Yeah.
Definitely think Josh will be sat in his chair a lot more comfortable now, though, because he's not playing anywhere near how he has been playing this week, and to only be 4s is...
He's fouled because he touched the cue of his... touched the white with the top of his cue, and Sasha's called a foul on him.
Well, this is going to be a controversial foul. You see, Lee doesn't like this. No, Lee's saying that he hasn't done this and calling for a replay, that the referee is going to have to make his own decision.
Well, if it's a foul, it shouldn't be. I think he's saying he used the tip.
I'm not sure you can argue that if the ref's got standards ground here, if he believes he's...
I think, are you allowed to touch it with your cue, but you're not allowed to touch it with your tip? I think it's the actual ruling, as far as I'm aware.
I don't think this is going to work. I mean, you can't really negotiate this. Like, Sasha's going to have to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think the decision's been made. He's called the foul, hasn't he? I think.
In a sense, the way this match has gone, I don't think this is the end of the world. I mean, it could be the end of this frame, but I mean, it's not been one frame stuff all the way.
2 physical carry, that would be off the break, so...
Sasha Gauchi, the referee, conferring with John
There's no
Hope
way
as
he
the
can
senior
surely
ref.
be asking the rules. He knows what he thinks he's seen, doesn't he? So he's either called the foul or he's not.
Just when you think you've seen everything in this
Yeah.
match,
Yeah,
what a random final.
We've had a time foul, which you don't normally see. I don't think I've ever seen a foul for this.
A foul on the break is...
I've never seen either a time foul or this.
I've never seen this foul ever called before.
And this is one of these things where there's a real imbalance of experience here. Like, Lee's the guy that has been here a lot, and I mean, Sasha's an experienced referee, but I think if this was a junior player coming through, he'd have just called this and it would have been done. Whereas because it's Lee Kendall, he's feeling he has to listen.
But I guess if you take Lee's point of view for a second, if he hasn't touched it with his tip, you can see why he'd be so infuriated with this decision, couldn't you?
Well, and to be honest, I can't see why he would have. I mean, he knows the rule. It would be very careless if he has touched it with his tip.
I don't know. I don't actually know what's gone on. Has he feathered the white while he's queuing up? Has he touched the white of his tip? I've no idea. Sasha was just giving the impression that he was queuing up, so I think they've gone to watch. They're just bringing us into the football, aren't they? Video replays.
We now have video replays for Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty, it's kind of okay because this is the final, there's only one table. The issue with this is normally that we don't have all the matches televised, so you can't have replays for some and not for the others. Well, this is the first
Josh is
time.
sitting there with his fingers crossed open, Sasha
It's
sticks to his decision.
Yeah.
It is a huge moment in the match, mainly because of we know how psychologically it's gonna hurt Lee, isn't it, if he has fouled?
Especially
And
because he's 4-0 anyway.
He's 4-0 anyway, and he's fuming with the fact that
he touched it with his tip, so it's just a confirmation that he touched the white with his tip rather than the actual cue, which in world rules is a foul.
It's an unusual thing to have done, isn't it? I mean, Lee knows that rule, but I guess we all do it casually because normally, well, most matches don't even have a ref. You're never really going to get called on that normally.
No, this is true.
I think this is not. I mean, it's a sort of brave call from Sasha, but I think if you're going to make the call, you've then got to go through with it.
If the rules are the rules,
yeah, he obviously thinks he's seen something to call the foul. So I'm not quite sure what the debate is after the fact, because you've called the foul and that should be it.
No, I mean, presumably Ken is saying that he didn't use the tip, that it was close to the tip, but still the wooden part of the cue. Well, I mean, it's interesting. This is going to prove a very decisive frame. This is the last frame before the mid-session interval. Whichever of them wins, I mean, if if it is called a foul, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Josh actually to do something with the opportunity.
The thing is, if Josh gets the 2 shots and does break and clear up, I think the interval could come at a very nice time for Lee, because he'll need 10 minutes or 5 minutes just to get his head a bit straight, really, after this. I can't really see how the ref can go back against his decision, really, so
No.
I would be surprised if it was overturned, in all honesty, but...
This is a bit of a distracting break for both players.
Occasionally Steve Mills. Is that Steve Mills?
Yeah, the England manager there, conferring with his player. I mean, you've got to feel for the referee here, although we're saying stick with your decision. It's a difficult situation when faced with the England captain telling you that you've either got something wrong or you've seen it wrongly.
I think this almost sums this match up so far with the strangeness of the match. This is so. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
No, getting a second opinion. Adam Basu and Craig Lauder in the audience. Good friends of Josh.
Well, I've got 3 referees conferring now. That's the senior referee speaking to the timekeeper to ask for another view. The actual referee from the match is still, I think, looking at the video replay.
Be interesting to see the outcome of this. I think it's going to be tough for it to be overturned, really, with no video evidence in the game and things like that. You can't return to a replay of the shot, so.
I'm not sure how you can actually justify changing your decision now, because
it's obviously seen something.
There shouldn't be a video replay anyway. I think you either call the foul or you don't, and you move on from it, don't you?
Definitely.
It's not like it's. I mean, you know, if he was getting down to pot the final black or something, it's not. I mean, it's 4-4 and it's the break. I mean, it could easily turn into a big turning point, but arguably it's not the most significant moment.
Just 2-shot carry's massive, isn't it? I think if Josh makes a ball off the break,
you'd fancy him to get the finish, other than a disaster break, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But there's going to be some pressure on that break because he's not been potting off many of them so far. So.
No.
Big shout out to Tony Gear, supported me all the way through these rounds of the last few days. So, cheers, mate. Hope you're okay.
It's been quite nice in a way, Dave, having a gap between the quarter and the semi before the sort of big streamed semi. At least you can have a bit of a break and enjoy the moment for a while.
Yeah, definitely. I've just been playing in the Masters the last couple of days anyway, so getting some table time. And
it was very draining for you last night, wasn't it, with the amount of pool you'd played in 2-3 days?
By the last game yesterday against Josh, I was absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
But that's obviously no outcome on the result at all. Josh played very well. And near the end, again, his break come good, and mine kind of deserted me for the last few frames, and he just took advantage of that. So, great performance on his part, and good to see him doing well. He's a good friend of mine anyway, so happy to see him do well. It's going to be a lot of years. Going to see a lot of him over the next few years, 100%.
I think he'll probably get straight into the England A team, if I'm honest. He trials this year at Yarmouth for the England side. I'd struggle to think of a player off the top of my head who's better than him at the trials, although albeit the format is very tough.
Oh, yeah, it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat, and on the day you can lose, but he would be the best player there for my money. And
definitely, he plays in a lot of competitions, doesn't he? A lot of the tours, whether it be from Leicester or the UK tour or any of the under-23 stuff up until this year. So he's definitely one to watch for the future. And you've got the other players, like you say, like Aaron. And
it'd be nice to get rid of some of the deadwood out of our team as well, wouldn't it? Sort of like Gav Lomax, Shane Thompson, the ones that sort of, just making the numbers up. It'd be nice to sort of get fresh blood in.
Right, we have a decision.
I think Josh is just going to give it back to him, I reckon. He didn't touch his foul. No,
You think you might use your hand for that, mightn't you? I think think a lot of people are going to be a lot more careful. I mean, most of us are probably quite casual about that. But
We had a ref here the other day. It's a lady ref from South Africa. She's a very good ref. One of the players called a timeout.
Oh, wow.
One of the players was in the way, and as he called a timeout, he was walking around the table having a look, and she called a foul on him. As you're not allowed to walk around the table on timeout, you're supposed to stand still. Or
I actually got a warning about that in my singles match because I actually didn't really think it through. Where I was at the side of the table where I needed a timeout, so I've asked the timeout, but while I was stood in my spot, I was having a look for my next couple shots, and the ref come over to me and said, "You're not allowed to do anything." And as obvious as it is, I didn't really think about it until I'd done it.
Yeah, she called a foul on someone, and
Well,
there was a big uproar.
yeah, I mean, what you've had is the more normal situation. You often see refs warn people,
Yeah,
but to actually call a foul is
Yeah,
quite...
but fair play to her. She's done a good job. And
So just to welcome guests into the commentary box to explain what's happened.
Yeah,
Dave?
hi, there's Dave Veery here from Belgium again. Yeah, I just spoke to John Hope, and there was no foul because what happened was Sasha, the main referee, believed that Lee touched the white ball with his Q-tip just before hitting it, not when he was positioning it like Lee was showing. They didn't use video replays because we're not allowed to use video replays, but he did ask for the opinion of the timekeeper. And whilst the timekeeper doesn't overrule the decision, the timekeeper said, yeah, he could see that there was about an inch gap between the tip and the ball, so therefore he didn't. But from Sasha's angle, it looked like it did touch. So as a result of that, both players were happy to say that there was no foul and carry on as per normal. So it's an interesting one because they did want to look, they did potentially looking at a video replay, but I think that sets a massive precedent for any future matches. If they did it for that one, any other match could say, well, hang on a second, you did there, why can't you do ours?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. We haven't really thought it through properly. They don't want to just decide it on the hoof in the middle of a match.
Yeah. It's interesting because when me and Gav went to Australia on the Lions tour, then they were using video replays for a lot of decisions, but it's not something that's sort of come across in the UK yet. But
No,
it's
I
an
mean,
interesting option.
Yeah, it's always the thing you think, well, if you've got it there, why don't you use it? It's
Absolutely.
silly not to.
Because some people sort of say that at the end of the day, not all matches are video replayed, so why do it? But then when you look at tennis with a Hawkeye, there's only certain courts that use it, and they know that if there's no Hawkeye, you can't use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting one on that one. As you said, everything happened in the first 8 frames, and then something we've never seen before happened in the 9th one.
Very controversial. Could have been. I think if obviously Josh clears these up and goes 5-4, Lee will be less affected than what he would have been if Josh got the 2 shots off the break and broken
absolutely.
dish. I think this will affect him a lot less.
It's a massive decision because Kenny's happy now with the decision as well.
Yes,
if he felt
exactly,
aggrieved, that could have lasted for quite a few frames.
Yep.
Well, I think he's probably happy with the decision, but still a bit annoyed that the situation happened. And I think if he loses this frame, he may still be thinking about that a bit.
Yeah, because there was a controversial sort of refereeing decision in Kenny's semi-final against Carl Boys as well. So he felt a bit aggrieved on that one. So if he had another decision here, that might have carried forward in this match.
We had another controversial decision during the Seniors World Championships this
the
year
push
involving
shot.
Keith Brewer and Sonny, where decision was taken and then Keith ended up walking out and forfeiting the match.
Yeah, because he said that Sonny did a push shot.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's a shame. I've not come across that before.
But then
where
push
someone's
shots are
just
legal,
walked
aren't
out
they?
the match.
Because
Yeah, in
it's-
pool. Yeah, they are.
It's only illegal if you can physically see with the eye that it's a push shot.
Yeah, well, it's not so much they're legal, it's a different definition, which is very difficult to get called on one.
It's very difficult to actually see a push shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even a double hit is legal if you can. It's only
done
called a
quickly
double
enough.
hit if you can see it with the eye.
I think there needs to be a bit more clarification with the rule, isn't there? Because for people that have played snooker previously, they find it unnatural to play a push shot. It's not a natural choice of shot, is it? Or something you would naturally do. But pool players, I mean, it's second nature to them, isn't it?
That was unlucky by Josh there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a big favourite in this frame, but you don't want to give Kenny any go to the table in these situations, do you? 'Cause
No, it was a careless shot, as we were talking a moment ago. You've seen he just slipped behind that yellow ball, just snooking himself off the intended red from what looked a promising position.
obviously, the best spot on the table seems to be the jaws of the bottom left pocket, but it's hard to see how he can get there from this position without potting the long yellow first.
yeah, I don't really know here. Unless he's going to come off the side rail and try and nestle on the one in the bottom right. Leaves Josh there maybe a long plant. Something like that.
He's in off.
It's That was always the danger. You needed to get that perfect, didn't you? And he's going to enjoy this interval, I think.
I think he needs the interval more than Josh at the moment, doesn't he?
It's amazing how this game is at times.
Yeah, but he's done a few really unusual things. He's pulled out a whole repertoire of things he's probably never done before
Yeah.
in this match.
And the thing is, he's played so well leading up to this round, and
Yeah.
like you say, is it even the best can get nervous at times, maybe?
Well, he started so well as well, because often you see this in the first frame when people haven't settled, but he kind of did the hard work, got 2 on the
Even
board.
a shot like that, you can tell Josh is getting more and more comfortable
Yeah.
now, because he didn't just stutter at that or anything like that.
No, he's cueing the ball nicely now, isn't he?
Playing a bit
he,
quicker as well.
he wouldn't want this interval at the moment, if there is one.
Well, we had understood that there would be an interval, but nobody else seems to be thinking about leaving the arena. We understand that if there is no interval in this, normally in the streamed matches, and certainly we'll see tomorrow in the World Championship matches, there will be an interval. This one, because it's part of the Masters tournament that doesn't normally have a sort of live arena stream like this, doesn't have an interval scheduled. Players still allowed to pop out for a brief comfort break, and we've seen that a couple of times already, but they'll be playing on. So Lee's going to have to sit there and think about it for a bit longer.
I think he needs to get a frame under his belt very quickly.
Yeah,
If
otherwise
Josh-
this could run away from him quickly.
Josh can
couldn't
get a
it?
nice break off here and a nice split, or even just make a ball, just to have first shout at the best choice of colour, the best set.
Yeah, if Josh Sharp's getting in first, like he really hasn't been doing that enough this match, and he's still 5-4 up if he starts
But that's what I
getting
mean,
in
even that
first as
frame
well.
just now, he's played a really loose shot, Josh, to snooker himself, and he's come back to the table with 2 shots again. So it's
Yeah,
not
I
affecting
mean,
him at all.
It's the ultimate worst case, that. I mean, Kenny got that safety shot wrong.
here
Oh,
we
goodness.
Because he's not putting off the break, what we said earlier.
Well,
He's hitting him that little bit harder, and the whites come off
yeah,
the table.
and I mean, you can see like that he was digging down on that. That was all wrong. He just didn't hit that smoothly. So two visits, of course, when the white goes off the table.
And another incident, which you don't
Yes.
see often. I think Leo need this, but again, there's a couple of tricky balls, but I think he'll be okay. We've lost Mike for 15 minutes or so, which might be good to a couple of the fans listening. Well, not bad, we're not too sure yet.
Get some-
Probably save Gav for a while anyway. He probably won't get as many insults as he has done for the first
this is true.
couple of hours of this match.
So now you're stuck with
He's on the bar run, is he?
Mark and the 2 Daves. So good
Hi,
luck
Dave.
to you. Hi, Dave.
Comedy double act we've got going on over here.
Yeah, that's a nice poke.
And if
Just
anyone
2
from
shots.
Belgium and France is following, send me a message. I'll give you a shout out.
Would you like to do your commentary in French?
can
Add
do
an
it,
international twist. We're struggling to make sense of ourselves in English, never mind doing it in French as well.
We have been listening to Gavin Mike. That's why we're good in gibberish.
That might be those glasses of water that you guys are drinking all the time.
Yeah, that Iron Brew is very strong here in Blackpool.
Yes, I'm not sure quite why we've got an unopened can of Iron Brew on the table just to lend some respectability to this.
Hi, Ryan Milky Shaw. From the sounds of it, he's been watching every single live stream since the start this week.
Yes. It's a shame they're not here, the Channel Islands. They usually put a team in, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But yeah, them like a few other countries like Belgium couldn't make it this year.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Finances
French,
being an issue
Belgium.
sometimes. It's
Yeah.
mostly it's financial issues. Reunion Island as well,
It's a shame. Shame. Nice people as well as great pool players. So
especially the Belgians.
yeah, definitely.
Well, this is what Lee needed to get his hand on the table. 2 visits adding extra comfort for him.
He just needs to be a bit careful here. Just plan his
There's
work.
bound to be another saga in this frame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's sort of wondering what we've kind of worked through the rules now. I don't know what else they could do.
We'll find something else.
Didn't know
Don't
what
worry.
rules. You've now confirmed every rule going.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to be careful. He has slight screw back here.
Yeah, you could see him putting his shirt on this ball. That would be.
Just yeah.
That would be a
Just
new
don't really
front.
want to come too far. Just enough to just take the one in the middle next, and then the yellow to the corner. I'm guessing.
Big shout out to Pete Hazel, Sussex's #1, and also Alan Roberts. If anyone's got any questions for Dave Fernandez, we rarely get him in the commentary box.
Yeah,
Now
this
would be
is
the
true.
perfect time to send it in to us.
Got coerced into it.
Well, in the nicest possible way. I hope we don't see you because you're playing for the rest of the tournament.
Well, that would be nice. So touch wood.
Are you playing in the ladies' final?
Yeah, only at weekends. I look good in a skirt. No, looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll come up against Phil Harrison, which is going to be a tough game, but they're all tough from here on in, aren't they? I mean, Mick and Tom in the other half of the draw, you can't really...
Yeah, I mean, there's not an easy draw out of those three.
It is what it is, and that's it.
It must be nice. You've obviously played out in this arena a lot in team matches, but to kind of get your own semi-final out here must be nice.
Yeah, well, I was in the Masters final 2 years ago against Craig Waddington, which was out in the arena as well, which wasn't too bad. But it was again on a small table, it wasn't on the 8-footer, so...
Who won that one?
Craig, sadly.
Uh,
I think he cheated. I don't think the refs see. No, he's a great player, and a shame he's not here, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a
Yeah,
stalwart
he's
for the last few years.
Absolute superstar.
So, we've reached 5-all by about the most unlikely route we could have done.
And I think it's probably fair now. I think Lee got off to the better start, but he has made a few errors that you don't usually see with Lee, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they've not been errors like missing a difficult ball, which you might expect. They've been sort of odd errors, haven't they?
Definitely.
I think it's caught all of us by surprise after the first 2 frames. This
Definitely.
looked like it's going to be quite a speedy final, and Josh is a good disher as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't seen any of that from Josh, really, the sort of quick fire off the break.
Absolutely.
Not really. The frames he's been nicking are the frames that Lee's been making mistakes in. So I think Josh will be very happy at 5-all, and Lee possibly now could be, to be honest with you, because he was just 5-4 down from absolutely nowhere. So now he's back at the table, and Josh coming off the table.
I mean, strangely, they both look to actually be queuing quite well. It's that it hasn't been a problem with the potting, it's been the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he taking extra care this time after the
Yeah.
incident from 2 frames ago? That's a lovely break.
It's been working for
Cut
him all
break's
week.
working there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a beautiful break.
Even in the team event, he's been playing fantastic. He's clinical stuff. So
There's plenty of people watching this. There's Matt Barker over in Channel Islands, Alexandra Cunha in Portugal, where she's based in the UK now.
Well, it's nice to have so many people being able to watch it live. For a long time we used to televise this, and that was popular coverage, but inevitably had to be shown a bit after the
Yeah, you had to wait 3 months, and you also knew the results as well, so it's a lot better watching it live.
definitely, yes. When you're watching it 3 months later,
3
you
months
know what's
later,
happened.
it's pretty much only the players that are in the match that are sort of really sort of keen to watch it, because
Yeah.
we've sort of seen the scores.
The last one of those we did, I had to commentate it 3 months later, which made it very hard because I knew exactly what had happened.
You had to sound
To have any
surprised.
elements
Yeah.
of surprise.
It looked good when you was planning out the clearance. So
Yeah.
I think you should take this one, followed by this one.
How do you see this match going? Well, it goes a couple up maybe.
And if he just plays a nice little plant, he'll try and kiss a black full ball, I think. I think if he does that, he's in prime position. He just wants to try and get 100% on the plant though first. And then he'll have a choice of 2, 3 balls.
Up and coming player from Sussex, Paul Wensleydale, watching this as well. Hi, Paul.
And so I played it a little bit harder than that, just to guarantee a shot. Now, if he's not on that, the red to the bottom left, I think he's got to play another tricky plant.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of his worry there, that plant was the ball was just a bit away from the pocket. I think he was just trying to be ultra careful as to what happened to the second ball, make sure he left it near the pocket. But yeah, as you say, it's now a little bit more tricky.
Dave, I hear that the England men's team have started a boy band. Can you shed any light onto that?
Oh, if we're just holding back for the moment, we're going to have a new breakthrough coming up soon. Probably a few in the semi-final or the final, if we get there of the team event. I'm sure it'll be heard. We're just waiting our lead singer, Cole
Or
Sutton.
otherwise, it's actually going
Yeah.
viral at the moment on Facebook, isn't it?
Yes, it is actually, to be fair. I haven't got a Cole here. He's our lead singer. He's our main man. He's our Gary Barlow of the team.
See if you can compete with the Scottish and Irish, who normally have a strong shouting and or singing contingent.
Again, here he's just overrun it a little bit. He's going to have to play another positional shot. And he's coming in and out of bulk as well to do it. So, again, a potential banana skin.
Yeah, I think right now he just wants to keep it as simple as possible. But
Yeah, definitely. He just keeps running out a little bit. I don't know if the table's playing maybe a bit quicker or... But he just seems to be losing the white a little bit, which is, again, very unusual for Lee. He's usually perfect.
yeah, for once he's almost making his clearances look difficult, whereas he's normally one of those players that makes it look easy by keeping in prime positions.
Do you know if this is a new table or if it's one that we've been using all week?
I think
don't know.
I think it's one that we've been using, but it tends to be hotter. There's a much bigger light above this because of the
lights do
cameras
make
that-
a difference.
Yeah.
And that's been shown during the week because the two live stream tables were playing slightly slower than the other ones.
Yeah, that's funny because normally it goes the other way. They normally tend to be hotter. It's also, as we're starting to get more people coming to support, it tends to warm the room up a bit.
It's getting warmer and warmer anyway, so...
A couple of England juniors who have gone back home after their exploits last week are avidly watching this. Joe Nulty and Jake Pass, the future of English pool.
Yes, definitely. Good up-and-coming superstars. Keep it going, lads. Keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work, but not so good that they come and start challenging you guys just yet.
I'm sure they will. It's only a matter of time. They've got so many good youths coming through from multiple countries. I mean, not the English, the Irish as well, and winning everything at the moment.
Especially the Irish. They won the
Yeah.
juniors and the under-23s, didn't they?
Correct. So watch your space for a lot of it. The competition is going to get a lot stronger.
Yeah, it served the Irish well over the years. A lot of their current team, or certainly another team that were here last year, had been juniors for quite young, but had been around a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
30 seconds.
Josh has got another opportunity that you would never have expected to have.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the tail of the match. Like, Lee has been in first in virtually every frame.
Definitely. And now he's just try and take the three balls out and try and leave the one down the rail till last. That way he has nothing to do with it, and he's on the black to the middle guaranteed. So he'll try and probably put this and come around off two cushions, past the centre bag.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of opportunity he looks in with his eyes closed. Probably.
Yeah, there we are. But he looks so much more confident now like that. He's not even played it plain ball. He's played it with check side and...
Yeah, I mean,
So
like
it's-
you,
it's a
the easier
confident, yeah.
positional shots seem to be off the two cushions. But
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's going to be growing in confidence. And
Kenny will be disappointed that he can get about 6-2 ahead after that first session.
definitely.
yeah,
Well, it wasn't really the first session, but it just turned into that after the 10-minute break there.
Yeah, so-
Yeah,
That
that was
controversial
the mid-session
moment.
That was the interval. But yeah, again, look, he's playing that well, and he seems to be queuing a lot better now. So
Have Mike and Gav abandoned you then?
I think so.
I thought I was only covering for a minute here.
Yeah. They've got lost at the bar, I think. They might not be able to walk past, to be fair, if they're still in the middle of the frame.
We'll see if the cameraman can find them in the crowd.
Yeah. You're probably hearing them before you see them.
It's a bit like early in the week, Shane Thompson abandoned Carl Sutton commentating just so he could go and practice himself.
Yeah, he got caught out in the arena,
He
didn't
did,
he, having a
he?
practice?
Absolutely. He said he was going to bed and then practiced.
Lovely.
Typical Shane.
Shane's been playing so well this week as well. It's a bit unfortunate with his run in the Masters. He got a bit of bad news with the opponent he played, but apparently there's a big storm and an uproar about it all. Don't really know the ins and outs, but he's been playing very well in a team event and doing us proud. So
well, all good
Nice
signs for
reaction.
tomorrow.
yeah, it's going to be, like you say, I think Steve Mills has got a very tough decision to make. Everyone in the team is playing well, and the team itself, obviously, the results prove themselves, apart from the little hiccup against Mauritius.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you could almost pick the names out of the hat and it wouldn't make that much difference, but you sort of feel like you have to justify the decision.
Depends if he feels it's going to be a tactical battle or not, really, isn't it? That might change his mind on certain players,
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
especially as they've gone to the bar now.
Yeah,
It's also difficult because you want to give everyone a fair chance. Like, it's obviously nice for the guys that haven't played out in this arena much to have a go at it, but you've got to win the thing at the end of the day. So
yeah.
you've got to pick the best ones.
I think they're coming back. I can hear them already from the other side of the room.
Yeah, it's suddenly got noisy again, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, we've got another England player here as well, Ben Flack. Looks like he's joining in as well.
beautiful
Got
Ben
the full
Flack
complement.
is here. How are you, Ben? Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. We have straws in our pints now, apparently. We're just missing a sombrero. I knew you'd get the round. Gav doesn't buy a drink. So Josh 6-5 up. And I think it's probably fair scoreline now. Kendall's not been fantastic. Started off very well and he's got a bit ropey, a few mistakes, losing the white a few times.
I think he's going to be quite disappointed if he goes on to lose this. I think he's going to beat himself up about this.
I think he'll be very disappointed.
This was here for the taking, this match.
He's a bit of a perfectionist and he tends not to lose the white as many times as he's done. And I don't, like I say, maybe the table is playing a bit quicker or it's sliding a little bit, but the errors that you just never associate with
There's been
Lee.
a couple of really careless in off.
Well, I should feel starstruck here because I'm surrounded by the England squad, but I don't for some reason. I don't know why.
It's probably because Dave's drinking his pint through 2 straws at the
Yeah, I
moment.
don't know where that's come from, really.
I think that's one straw for each Dave.
That's it, that could work. We'll go with that
It's
one.
good team spirit, he's sharing the drinks now.
Don't make me sound so bad over
But we're
the
not the same
commentary
team,
box. Just in case we've got any Mike King fans out there, he'll be back with us shortly. Just in case you're missing him.
Just keeping up with his social media commitments in the meantime.
We're just waiting for another tactical frame, then obviously we'll pass them up Mike back to Mike for
At
his
the moment, his Twitter account's going mad.
fantastic
Followers.
expert commentary.
So Josh has finally made a ball off the break. So we shall see.
Yeah, he'd love to clear this one up if he can really get the motor running with
He's
it.
got a very good opportunity here. Yellows are very nice. He's got the first yellow to middle, and then just needs to run through really, but he needs to make sure of the pot, otherwise it's open table. So I think if he makes the pot, he's guaranteed to be on a yellow. So
One of our regular viewers, Fabrice van der Plas from Belgium, has just complimented Gavin on his fantastic commentary early on.
he's 3
By
words.
not saying anything.
Yeah, he's 3 words for value.
100%, nothing wrong.
I think if he goes this one, then he's done it. Josh definitely looking a lot more confident now. Well, until he just shook his head, so
Yeah, but he's not looked.
Timed that well, didn't you, Dave?
yeah, it's perfect. It's like that.
It's
I think he can just drop this one in anyway, and the 2 down the bottom corner, he can play onto the red carney pot in the yellow and just nudge it out of the way.
He's perhaps
Worst
been
case
a touch
scenario.
more measured than he normally is. Like, he just sort of doesn't quite look like he's settled, even though they're 11 frames into this match. Although, actually his cueing has been pretty good. He's not really looked like missing a pot.
Well, he's never really stamped his authority on the final, and yet he's 6-5 up. So he must be happy with that.
Yeah. I think there's some element when you're playing in front of these people, you want to win first and foremost, obviously, but you also want to look like a good player. You want everyone to say, oh yeah, he played well and won that match.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
he's not used to playing in front of an arena. So that is always
I think with Paul,
a
it's a
new
very
thing.
opinionated sport as well, isn't it? For 5 people that rate you, there's 20 that think you're rubbish.
Yeah.
So, and we all think Mark's rubbish. And Gav's not the best.
Do you want to reply to that, Gavin, at all?
Gavin's just left us. Gavin's left the building. Just drop this through now and then take the yellow to the opposite corner. Just wants to make sure he don't land on the cush. Just and get his cue in. Just a screw in and out or top round. What would you do here, Dave? Would you pump it through, Mark? Or screw it?
I think Mike needs to get the microphone back because he's got a good idea what's going to happen here. Come on, Mark, what do you reckon?
Well, I mean, it seems more logical to go forwards, but
Yeah, I think so. Goodness, it's just,
He didn't have any option at that angle anyway. He had to go forwards.
yeah, he's played it well. Hear the crowd in the background clapping. And now we just want to cue this. Like we said, once he starts getting a ball off the break, it's very easy for Josh to start reeling frames off.
I'm surprised he hasn't potted that straight away, actually. He's slowing down a bit for this match, isn't he? He's just taking extra care.
Yeah, he's definitely been a lot more measured than I was expecting.
But he looks a lot more comfortable around the table now.
And after 12 frames, Josh has finally got his first finish.
Yeah, ahead by
And
2 for the
still
first time.
7-5 up, yeah, correct.
Well, he must have finished 6 other times then.
Yeah, 2 or 3 balls.
Yeah, it's the first,
First real
first
clearance
visit
he's
clearance.
took out,
isn't it?
yeah.
I think Lee's going to be increasingly annoyed now. Like he wants to be several frames up, and now he's 2 behind and not that far from the finish line.
But it's the thing. I think Josh will feel like he's probably not really got going yet. It's just mistakes from Lee that's allowed him to be 7-5 up. But he'll take it.
Well, it's an odd match. We've played 12 frames, and it does feel very much like that. Neither has really settled down into it, when in most matches we'd have finished by now.
Former World Championship referee Tanya from Australia is watching this.
Yeah, it's always impressive to see not just the players travelling from all around the world, but the quality of referees we've had from all over the world.
Open table.
It's looking like being a quick frame, so we're welcoming Mike King back into the commentary books for
Good afternoon,
expert
Michael.
analysis of it.
Evening, chaps.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Had a brief visit to the bar.
Nice to see you.
Back to learn Mark's wise words of wisdom again. Talk us through his shots.
Well, it's been a very expert panel we have here. I don't think we've ever seen 6 people in the commentary books before.
Yeah, we're a good team.
Got plenty
We
to
stick
choose
together.
from.
And Dave's signing for us next.
Well, there's
next
5
game.
people, and then you've got Gavin that doesn't speak Lomax. Obviously, that's not his fault. He's just a very shy boy. Obviously, wasn't looked after properly as a child, I don't think, and he's not really grown up from that. But I think Josh is really stamping his authority on the game now, isn't he? He's getting the opportunities that he was wanting early doors.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of performance, or starting to look like the kind of performance that he's put on through the rest of the tournament to get to this point.
Yeah.
He has definitely slowed down. I don't know if that's because the game has been a bit scrappy and ropey that he's just trying to make sure now.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit of both. I mean, I think sometimes you end up sort of gravitating towards your opponent's speed of play when, in a sense, it would be logical to do the opposite. Stick with your own tempo. I think he knows he doesn't want to make any mistakes. I mean, ordinarily Lee is a real sort of granite opponent that grinds you down. I mean, it's not exactly proved like that today. Lee's played some good stuff, but then he's also gifted in the kind of opportunities you wouldn't expect.
This is what we got, ladies and gentlemen. Our potential future world champion drinking his pint of lager through a straw in the commentary box.
It is fun though.
Dave
It's a-
Fernandez.
We should really have a stream from the commentary box as the 2 Daves
If you
share the
get one
fight.
Is it in dress code if you can have one of them as a hat and just a straw straight through as you're queuing up? As another empty pint comes flying over our shoulders.
We've been joined in the commentary box by Ben Flack. He's here to input his wise words of wisdom onto us. It's great to have you, Benny.
If nothing else, we can say the England team is well prepared for this match. Everyone's been on the water the night before.
Everyone's very relaxed and chilled. I think. Mike's on the blue top. Having shots of milk. You mate.
I look after a very healthy physique.
When you're starting.
That's a very clever shot. He's trying. It's
Is he on it? Does it go past? By his reaction, it's a no.
no.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough to play that in such a way that he did have a clear shot.
You could try and double it in the middle. Is that the shot? Slow double into the middle.
Play the plant.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any choice but to try the plant. Obviously, the 2 reds are an issue.
It's tricky.
30 seconds.
Big shout out to Joe Prince. Still a scumbag, but nice to see you, buddy. And he's played that.
That's a fantastic
That's
shot.
a really good shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, that could be a frame winner.
That's going to hurt Lee a lot.
Yeah, for one moment it looked like that was going to just rest on the edge of the pocket, but then drop down.
This is what we were saying about Josh, so if he does get into his stride, and he can easily reel off a bit of a gap. But we said this earlier, if any of them hit a bit of a purple patch, the way it was going, that
Yeah, I mean, either of them certainly can. It feels like we haven't seen Lee for a while, isn't it? We were talking about him a lot at the beginning, and now it just feels like we've been watching Josh for the last few frames.
Ever since Lee got his nose in front early doors, he's not really come back from that, as he sort of had the opportunity to press home the advantage, and Josh has punished him since.
So, ahead by 3 frames for the first time in this match. First time anybody's led by that kind of margin, and it's certainly the furthest Josh Kane has been ahead. Best of 19 frames this final, so only 2 away from the victory line now.
yeah, well, it's massive now. Kendall has to beat Josh 5-1 in order to take the trophy home.
Yeah, and the way he started, you'd have fancied he'd be fine to do that, but the way the next few frames went, he definitely wouldn't.
No, he still can't write off Lee. Just a class act, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's won games from here before. I must say, Mark, it's probably been 15 minutes since you mentioned you beat me on the UK tour.
Oh, it's all right, we mentioned it a few times while you were at the bar. We're going to be showing a video of the match later on.
I hope not. We don't want to put viewers off, pal.
Yeah, I think we had less silly fouls than they've managed in this frame.
Yeah.
In this match.
Got one.
Oh, and one shot on the yellows, isn't it?
Yellows. That's what I'm saying. If you, even just making a ball, even if you're not
Yeah,
going to clear him, just
you're in control,
being
aren't
on
you,
the
by
best
making the
set.
ball. Josh's body language just looks a lot more positive now, doesn't it? He obviously he's flowing around the table.
Yeah.
A lot happier in his game. Early doors, he looked under a bit of pressure, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's still looking. He's still taking it seriously, isn't he? I mean, he's not celebrated any of these frames that he's won. He's kept a very straight face the whole way through.
It's true. He's a very composed lad anyway. You may see a fist pump if he does manage to get over the line. But like I say,
I think you'll see a fist pump from his dad. His dad's a very proud man, isn't he? Loves it.
oh, Sean, yeah, he's one of
Great
the nicest
bloke.
guys.
One of the
isn't he?
nicest guys you meet in Poole, isn't he?
Definitely. And I think he'll just want to try and take control of this frame. Well, he's already got it, to be fair, but just to make things slightly a bit
Like you
easier.
said,
for
like
everyone.
you said previously, you can't underestimate Kenny, though, can you? For a minute, you think you might have the control, and within a shot or two, he's very clever. Manipulate the balls.
He's just happy to be at the table, I'm guessing, at the moment. You know what I mean? His last 2 or 3
He's
frames.
not had a lot of table
yeah,
time, has he?
Josh has just been reeling them off. And he does look more chilled.
Yeah, really just wants to get a foothold of the match now. If he could just get this frame on, it's certainly going 9-5 behind is disastrous. Once your opponent only needs 1, it just takes all the pressure off them.
Clever shot by Lee there. Josh maybe flick this one over the bag, but again, that will give Lee another chance to get his other so-called dodgy red out.
Yeah, quite finely balanced still, this frame, and as we've said numerous times, Lee is the master from this kind of position. Well, that's careless. You can see what he was trying to do. He wanted to leave the
Strange
white
DF.
down.
It's a weird DF at this time of the match, isn't it? To just poke the white in, but he's obviously got his reason why he gave Kenny ball in hand. Perhaps he just doesn't think he'll get them.
May have to have another substitution from the commentary box. We've allowed Mike to express an opinion about a tactical front.
Yeah. Might tap the table here in the commentary box. This is a lifeline for Kenny. Just
Yeah.
when it looked like it was going a bit tits up, he's managed to. Oh,
Is that a
open
technical
up.
term for it?
Yeah, just technical. Looks like she's got a lot worse.
He's
as
had a
well.
Western there, hasn't he?
There's just been too many of these moments from Lee where he's just misjudged shots that you just couldn't have seen him getting wrong.
I think he's been watching Mike's tactical frames. I think that's.
Yeah, I was asking at the beginning if you guys were getting any tactical advice off Lee, but it looks like it's been the other way around so far.
Yeah. Just think the more like little mistakes like that, the misjudgments, it just the pressure builds on you more and more, doesn't it? And
The confidence hits a low then, doesn't it? And
things just start going wrong. So he'll try and play this and it won't get the bag completely, or it'll just drop in, or something silly like that, rather than. That's a
that is
fantastic
a
shot.
great shot.
It's a fantastic shot.
Worthy to win any frame, that shot.
I mean, you didn't even see that shot. And it was an attacking one. That's what's scary.
Did you see that shot, Mark?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, not watching it. Did you see it?
So, it happened right in front of me, Mike. See it loud and clear. Still a bit of work to be done, though. He's
Yeah, oh. Almost out on show again.
Although
he's not exactly showing it, he really must be feeling the pressure now.
I guess he
8-5
was going
down.
to try and play the red off the yellow and clear the middle bag. But he's just, again, landed a bit short on it.
As you mentioned before, obviously, the later it gets in the match, the less mistakes he knows he can make now as well, which builds pressure in itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, normally this is where he's quite good. We've seen this so many times in team matches where he's known he's got to go out and win the frame, and he's been relentless, but just been a few too many scrappy moments so far in this one.
He's played that well, but again, like I say, when it's just not happening, it's not happening.
I mean, look at this. I mean, as you say, he's played the right shot, and the first red's gone in a position he can't see it, and the black's tied the other one up.
Yeah, that was pretty much worst case scenario, that result, wasn't it? He's gone for the plant. Oh,
Wow.
I think he thought he was playing a combo then.
I just don't get the shot, really, to be honest. Unless he gets the pocket, it doesn't really help him. He's just handing the frame away,
He
really.
seems to play it a bit firm to get the pocket as well.
But the thing is, at least with the red on the black, at least the black's tied up. So
Yeah,
you've got to make Josh do something,
Yeah,
especially when he's
now,
on
I mean,
eight.
Josh has got to just pot one ball to win the frame from here, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. And the way he's going at the minute, last couple of frames, he's not had a
If
problem
he
with any of
sinks the
these.
ball up the top right-hand pocket as you look on the TV screen, then obviously you'll have dot to dot to dot to dot to dot, and then it'll be it.
Yeah, I think Lee's best bet is to keep the frame as tied up as possible.
Well, yeah,
make
that's
Josh
what I
work
was
for it.
thinking with the red tying the black up, Mike. I think
Yeah, I don't think that was the correct choice. Not for my liking. Obviously, on the other hand, you can see what he's tried. If he did cover the bag with the black,
it's
it would have been a
massive.
very clever shot and would have turned the frame slightly in his favour, wouldn't it?
Yes, this is correct.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome, mate.
So we hear the timekeeper there shouting 30 seconds. You can be pretty sure Josh is going to be playing quickly this time. Had one time foul already in this match.
I think he's okay. Don't know if that yellow passes. You'd have thought it would have looked a couple of shots ago.
Yeah, he's giving it a close look now.
It's a nice shot.
So just one more good positional shot. It
Again,
could be-
would you deep screw this or off the on and out, in and out of bolt?
If he could chuck a trophy aside on it and sort of swing off the side 2 rails, come out nicely, wouldn't he, for the yellow in the middle?
If it's sliding the table a bit in way.
Yeah. It's a good shot.
Well appreciated by the crowd.
So 2 balls away from establishing a 4-frame lead. Gonna have one hand on the trophy after he puts these balls.
This has certainly been a bit more the performance we expected from Josh at the start, isn't it, the last 5-6 frames?
Yeah, but I think we all saw it being a much quicker match than it turned out to be if he'd have started off like that. So Lee going out of the arena for a moment to compose himself. He's now facing the equation that he's got to win all 5 of the remaining frames if he wants to lift this title.
Frame number 15. So we can do 2 break training by 9 frames to 5. Time running.
So focused looking Lee Kendall steps up to the table in what he knows could be the last frame of the match if he doesn't secure victory. As we say, he's got to
Very
win
bleak position.
5
Mark,
in a
isn't it?
row. Yeah, I mean, this is just a horrible position. There's nothing in how he's played so far that gives him the confidence that he could win 5 in a row.
No, but we know if given the chances, and we know he's got nerves of steel. He's been there and done it. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's probably the worst opponent actually to have a big lead against. He's
Well, look at
staged
the
a lot
Reds,
of good
though.
comebacks.
Look at the Reds.
I think this doesn't look good for Lee.
No.
Did you put the one over the bag first and just be on Reds?
It's all about
Or
the
put the one
confidence,
down the
isn't it?
rail?
Because the one down the rail's the shot, but you could understand fully why he would make sure he was Reds from this position, couldn't you, as
Yeah,
well?
of course,
There's
definitely.
justifications for both shots.
Could play for the ball in the middle second then, and then
Yep.
opens the whole table up. But
But also, if he leaves the red down the rail as his last shot for the black, it's quite straightforward as well.
yeah, that's a good shot, Mike. You can play.
No, I can't. I can talk a half-decent
Oh,
game.
sorry, mate. I think this is a good opportunity that Josh is more than capable of taking out, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the basis of the last few frames, you'd
Top left.
fancy him to
Bottom.
get it, but this is, of course, the one he needs for victory, which
It's-
historically tends to be harder.
Everything opens up here, doesn't it? So
This would, without question, be the biggest win of his career.
definitely.
His very young career as well, because he's definitely going to go on and win multiple big titles, I think. He's got all the attributes, doesn't he, to...
Definitely.
I think winning a big one early on helps, because if you have that reputation, then it takes you a while to get your first one. Like, sometimes it gets a bit tougher, whereas if you win early on, then you just think, well, this is easy, I'll be doing this all the time.
Have you ever won a tournament, Mark, or yourself?
I have. It's surprising. You look at me like you expect the answer to be no.
It's pretty ABC from here. So
Yeah, he just needs to control the cue ball.
yeah,
Two
get
shots in,
soft screw, and
soft screws, and that'll be the end.
there he is. Just
Yeah,
get to the
that's
side rail.
Right, it's just the only thing that can go wrong is a pop out of the middle, which is a 1,000,000 to 1 shot, isn't it? That's
It
the only
happened in
thing.
the first
Well,
round.
It did
yeah,
happen,
he's
yeah.
had it once already. So.
Yeah, it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot though.
Actually, it's something you don't see much of. There was a period when these tables were new. You used to see that all the time, but they've corrected that problem now.
So 2 balls away from lifting the trophy. And here it is for the title.
It's been a fantastic second part to the match from Josh.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And he said, game over, Josh wins. Few tears of joy. And Sean, his dad, the nicest man in Paul.
Yeah, nicest man in Paul. Thoroughly deserved that.
Ladies and gentlemen, a great final. Let's have a round of applause for our current runner-up.
And, good evening. Good night.
Emotional moment. You've achieved a lot already in your career, but how does this moment compare?
This moment will be fine, yeah. As you can probably see. I don't know what to say.
You did very well to hold yourself together. It was a slightly strange match in a lot of ways, but it felt like it took you a while to get into it, and then you started motoring.
Absolutely awful start to be 4-1 for. I mean, the match massively when I should be really out the match. Started off so bad. Maybe a few first few frame nerves. But yeah, absolutely over the moon. Can't believe it.
What does it mean to beat opponents at Leeds calibre?
Yeah, Lee's a great player. That's a unique captain. Player that I've looked up to for years, really. So to beat him in a major final.
We won't make you say anymore. Let's give it a big round of applause. Welcome to the arena, please, the tournament director, Sean Baker, to present the trophies.
It gives me great pleasure, having known Josh for a few years now, caused a bit of grief, playing in the under-23s and being in the main events as well. You get to the back end, but truly great performance. 2017 World Masters champion, Josh Kane.
contract. Groups on fucking job.